Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of the YTMCU podcast. Give me just a second. I'm actually going to look and see. This will be the seventh episode. The first six episodes, which you should totally check out, have been Isaiah Blair, Tina Lewin, Dalton Gould and Jacob McIntyre, Cole Allen, Ben Gerhardt, and Owen Parker. Today, I have Dalton Gould on his return, but this time with Kendal Johnson as my third guest. You'd like to introduce yourselves?
Dalton. Y'all know me by now, hopefully.
I'm Kendal. I play Hellcat and Blood Hunter. And you guys probably know me by now from all the other videos me and Alex have done.
Yeah, so these are the two people that I will be conversating with today. Two of, in my opinion, the best people to have a podcast with because they are the least chaotic and the most interesting to talk to.
We've had a lot of conversations that should have been recorded.
100%. Also, sorry if I cough a lot. I have a lung disease. So, yeah. Try my best not to. But
I also have one disease. It's called vape.
which you hopefully won't be doing directly across the table from me right now. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I'll basically for these questions, unless they're directed specifically at one of you, I'll just have you go first and then her go after. So you go first.
I'm doing pretty decent. Out there trucking, making money. Haven't been able to really do much here because I've been out of town a lot. But yeah, living the dream. That's all you can do anymore, really.
I'm fine. I mean, I've just been trying to. What's the word? Survive, I guess, in this world.
Do the best you can.
Yep. Would be in school right now, but I'm not, sadly, because I decided not to go this semester. But other than that, I'm good. Just playing The Sims right now.
Yeah, Kendall's playing The Sims. I am trying to write a movie that will hopefully one day be shot. We'll see what happens.
And I'm doing nothing currently, so I'm not making any noise. But if this is the first time anyone is listening, I'm gonna have both of you go ahead and kind of give everyone details of stuff that you've done within the YTMCU, characters you've played, movies you've written / directed / shot. If you have, well, you go ahead first, since you have more accolades to your name.
I like that word. Accolades. Yeah, you're right. I've done good bits. Here, kind of have to go into the playlist to see what movies I've been in because I don't remember them all. So let's see here. I've done Dragon and Tiger, Chapter 2, Secret Avengers, Dragon Tiger 2. I think I was in Sin Eater for a small thing. I don't remember.
You died.
It's been too long.
You got killed by a side villain.
Moonlight Chapter 3, Midnight Sun, Dragon Tiger 3. And since then, I've kind of just been in the background a lot. Sort of just, helping out where I can. But I played a couple different characters. Started off as Bushman, the major... Huh?
The psychopath.
The psychopath, pretty much, yeah. The major villain of Moon Knight's trilogy, besides himself. And
That is true.
Well, I should say quadrilogy at this point.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting there's 4.
Because nobody remembers the second one.
But did that. I've done Hero Bleaching, of course. This is the biggest role. Honestly, my favorite I've done. And we had a couple more roles coming up in the near future. hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, I've done a little bit of everything.
My characters and stuff. So, I've obviously played the widely loved Hellcat, which I am very proud of, because you can ask Alex. Whenever I first started, I was actually very scared to play Hellcat because she was totally different from what I am. She's this happy-go-lucky girl who doesn't let anything get her spirits down, and she's been a great inspiration to my character. And I've just tried to take a page out of her book and put the past behind me and try to be someone new, someone better than what she once was. You guys will see that in a future movie. And I've also played Blood Hunter, which she is a tryhard. And it truly shows in my acting that I was a tryhard too. I wanted Alex's approval on Blood Hunter, but he says it worked perfectly, so I'm not mad about how I acted. Sometimes I think, she was kind of crazy on that part, but other than that,
That's who she was supposed to be.
but you guys know this, I play Psylocke, which a bunch of people have said that is my best role yet, and I can't wait for you guys to see that movie.
I would agree.
Me and Dalton worked so hard on a scene together. It was just great.
I'm excited for it.
And
Just got to get the rest of it shot.
and I'm waiting for you guys to meet Polaris as well. She's so cute, so fun, and yeah, I'm just really excited.
We got some peak stuff coming up.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
honestly,
Lots.
there's so much
So much going on.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we have
crazy and amazing stuff coming up.
not only you writing stuff now, Brady writing stuff, Ben is,
I
I
have
am.
just by myself, I have 11 completed scripts in my folder. That's 11 completed.
There's a movie
That does
that
not count the ones that I have not finished. That does not count the ones Brady, Ben, Kendall, or Dalton are writing, which they are all writing at least one.
How many drafts do you have?
Drafts? Let me check my entire thing. So I'm gonna go over.
Crazy as a check.
I literally don't know. I'm just always writing.
and there's a movie coming up that a lot of you really want to see. So
So, one movie that we're filming for, one movie that Kendall is writing that isn't done, one movie that I just finished, one movie that I have still not started on but is being kind of in pre-production, one that I'm writing, one that I'm almost done with shooting, one that I'm working on, one that I'm working on, one that I'm working on with the script is done, another that I'm working on with the script is done, and the movie is almost done, another that I worked on the script is done, another one I worked on the script is done, one that Ben's working on, one that I'm working on the script is done, another that I'm working on the script is done, one that I'm working on which we're shooting, another one that I'm working on that the script is done, one that I finished the script for, another one that I haven't started writing yet, another one that is done script-wise, another one that I'm writing a script for. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23. Just myself. 23. I have 23 scripts in my folder. Just myself. Well, I should say 21, because one of those is Kendall's and one of those is mine.
Okay,
One
I think
of those is Ben's.
I think I gave you access to view my script, I think.
So I think in total, counting those 23, Dalton's is 24, Ben has 2 more, which would be 26. Brady is writing technically 3, so that's 29, almost 30 films total
Yeah.
that
Coming
are
up.
being created right now, currently.
and we're really excited to show you all what's coming up.
There are so many characters and concepts and powers and genres.
It's
that are gonna be
truly
tackled.
so hard to talk about Psylocke without spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me just run down like every genre of the movies. We got horror action, like multiple horror action films.
There's a lot
Supernatural
of
based.
horror stuff coming up.
Action, mythology, action, more action, more. Detective thriller, I'd call that one. Some action, a psychological thriller, action, a mafia movie, action, an all villain based movie, which you'll be happy about because it's an entire team of villains. Action one, action, and action. A lot of action stuff, but there's just so much more to it than just fighting. There's some really crazy stories in there as well.
Mine, the one I'm writing, it's mythology based, and it's more story driven than anything. I don't really have a lot of action in it. It's mostly just it's gonna be a short film anyways, so don't have much room to play with. But
Yeah, there's a lot of short films in the production right now. I think. Hold on, let me give you. You'll find this interesting, Dalton, because I haven't told you this, but I'm gonna read to you, or like list to you the amount of pages that I have for the movies coming up. So the shortest script that I have in production right now for the movie has 44 pages. Right, that movie is basically done. There's a couple more scenes left and it's done. The one above that has 45. The next one above that has 66, 79, 100, 101, 101, 103, 132, 156, 178, 184, and 190. The longest script I've ever written is 190 pages long. Yeah. Mind you, Moon Knight 4 was 184 pages. So that script is going to be even longer than Moon Knight, potentially, depending on how it translates to the actual screen.
that's crazy.
And that is a movie that we're currently working on.
Yeah,
We're writing-
that's not even the hardest part. The hard part now is just getting everybody together to film.
Yeah, that is honestly true.
It sucks, but we're all right. So
And also writing a script while trying to account for the limitations that we have, really hard. Like there's so many things you want to do, but you only have so many people, so much time, and so much resources. There's a few scripts that I've written that have definitely been depleted due to that. And we've seen complications with certain movies we've already been filming where we've had trouble with people showing up and trouble sometimes with them just not even wanting to do it in general. It's been rough. But we've been doing our best. We just shot a movie today. We shot about 4 scenes for it. It was super fun. It's a smaller project, but very fun. Nobody in the general sphere of our fan base knows about it yet. It's completely a surprise.
it's exciting.
It's very fun. It's a lot smaller scale than it has been. Like there won't be any like crazy vampire cults running New York or cosmically powered villains destroying the city or friggin' hell creatures coming out from the depths of the underworld.
Yeah.
It's just a simple story of one man's crusade against evil throughout the city. It's fun. It's fun. It's a darker story for sure.
Yeah.
Dark, but emotionally packed. Lots of action. Super fun. Super fun.
So far, the action's been pretty good.
Yeah, we've only filmed one fight scene. Damn, has that one fight scene been absolutely incredible? It was essentially a proof of concept for our fight scenes, and that is probably my favorite scene in the movie so far. Anyone that knows me knows I have a thing for fight scenes, so yeah. And that definitely, I believe, rings true here as well. Sure. So, Dalton, is there anything that you specifically would like to talk about? I don't know if I have a lot of questions personally, but probably just end up talking about something.
Honestly, I think just coming on here and just talking about how things are going and how everybody's doing, and just sort of where our strong points are. And,
Yeah.
Discussing just sort of the channel and the studio, I guess.
Yeah.
You can basically call us a studio at this point. We have so many working parts.
I think it's really awesome. The thing that is finally happening that I've wanted to happen for so long. There's more than 2 people writing scripts. Kendall's writing a script. You are. I am. Ben is. Brady is. It's just nice to see the amount of people that we have writing the scripts, because that's something that I've always kind of been hoping for, is that I wouldn't have to be the only one to do it. But now I'm not, so that's cool. I'm just hoping to see that all of these scripts get realized and they're not just things that people wrote. Like Kendall's got a script coming up that she's been writing, and I definitely think that one is going to happen.
Well, yeah.
It's another smaller project, but it is amazing. It is super emotionally charged. It is a horror film through and through. Psychological, physical, dare I say analog almost. It's very, very interesting. And I know Brady's the film that he's the writing currently is definitely also going to happen, which I'm excited for that. It's just nice to know that other people are going to get to work on projects that they have envisioned, because I know a lot of people watch these films in our group and they're like, man, I'd love to do something of my own, and it's nice to see people actually want to actually try to do it. everyone's always afraid to either like write a script or edit a movie or cast people. But like the thing is, you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Risotto.
Risotto like touched my leg and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, my cat is underneath the table, terrorizing people.
Yeah, I was terrified when I first started writing this. I was terrified. I was like, I'm never gonna have time to do this, or I'm gonna get bored like halfway in. Because I have to be a lot. I start doing something and I just get a brain fart and give up on it. But I'm actually having a lot of fun with this.
I think the key is just like to take a break. When you start to feel that moment where you're like, man, I'm gonna get bored of this, I'm gonna get frustrated, just stop. Take some time to recollect. And then when you decide to come back, you come back and you do it again.
I started writing this script probably July, August, something like that.
Poor girl.
And I'm only halfway through it right now. But
Get up.
Sorry, my autistic girlfriend is talking out loud while playing
Sorry, guys.
playing The Sims.
Yes.
Anyway, Dalton, what were you saying?
I don't remember now. Kendall distracted me. But
Sorry, guys.
no, I've been writing the script since probably August. I'm taking a couple breaks from it. Some for my own good, some because I had to. But
Yeah, there was a script I was writing that I was super burnout on. Like I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I really wanted to do that because I love the character that's based on. But I really did want to. I went through like 4 different versions of the script. And just recently, I just got back into doing it, and I wrote the entire story in 101 pages. It's done. And I'm very excited to do it because I just know that it is going to be an absolutely fun film. I would say that the cast is small, but the story is large.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, like there's not a lot of characters in the movie, but the action is crazy. Like it's more than just like throwing hands. Like there's like some crazy shit happening. Power that we see, like a lot of times in the YTMCU, the most power you physically see is like punches that can level buildings or like that can destroy a human body. The characters in this movie have powers that can affect like your soul and like metaphysical things that don't usually happen in fights, which I think is super fun because like there's a lot of variety lately with scripts. Like you have mutants who use their powers to fight each other. You got concussive blasts and super speed and magic and all that stuff. But then you also have a story just about a dude with swords and guns going up against vampires and killing them. Or you have a story about a girl with vibranium claws slashing through villains. Or people with flaming skulls lighting giant hell portals that destroy entire towns. It's just, the range is crazy, and I loved how dynamic it's been. Like, I love how in the back of the day it was just people that have good martial arts skills fighting villains that are like reasonably level in power. But now you have characters that like punch each other and you can hear the shockwaves from across the freaking world.
we've evolved our creativity a lot.
I can talk about this film because it's already like there's already been a trailer out for it and everything. It's crazy to think that I started off with like people like Moon Knight and Iron Fist who like they fight well and they punch hard. And then like the latest project I'm working on is about like Hyperion, who can punch freaking buildings into ashes and like vaporize people with his like heat vision, and his fights with Moonstone literally shake the freaking world.
Which that also truly shows how strong Moonstone is, being able to withstand the power of Sentry. Not Sentry, Hyperion. I think she'd die against Sentry.
Yeah, that's a bit more of a...
But against Hyperion, she really holds her own. Even when he's holding back, he's not really wanting to, but he has to because there's a little girl there and he doesn't want to hurt her, so he's holding back.
That's what I think is really funny also, because we're doing the Mashup Monday now, and right now we've talked about characters like Hellcat and Bloodhunter who like have weapons and they can hit each other with them.
There's no way.
By the end of the series, we're gonna be have talked about characters who can like warp reality and like punch freaking stars and shit and can move fast enough that they travel through time.
Speaking of which, I truthfully think that Morgan Le Fay can beat Hyperion.
Nah.
You don't exist.
She can't do that.
Yeah, she
ain't got that kind of power. Plus, before she'd even open her lips, boom, she's vaporized by heat.
Okay, let's not argue about this. This is not matchup
Nah,
Monday.
It would definitely have to be certain circumstances. But
I mean, if we want to go by based on the comics, Sentry's already beat her. So, I mean, it's nothing Hyperion couldn't do. Because in the comics, they're a lot closer in power than they are in our movies.
Sentry killed her and she came back. But she knows not to mess with
Say,
Sentry again.
He tore her head off and she just died. That man is a scary character, okay. He's like Superman if he just didn't give a fuck.
Alex knows how I feel about that dumb shit. With
Characters
plot
coming back to
armor.
life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
That's why when we killed Harold Meacham, I said everybody's like, "Oh, nobody ever actually dies in Marvel movies."
They die in ours
Harold
unless
Meacham's
it's
dead.
specifically part of their ability. See, that's the thing. Like in our movies, if a character dies, they usually just don't come back unless their power states that that is something that they can do.
Harold Meacham. has
Moon
not come
Knight.
back.
Moon Knight dies,
Hellcat.
Hellcat dies, even Wolverine dies. Like they have the ability to come back. Moon Knight, Hellcat, they both resurrect. Wolverine can heal from a freaking drop of blood. But like,
Does
if-
that mean I will never play Harold Meacham again? Will it be flashbacks?
that's the good thing about our movies is like we can always just do a prequel.
Yeah.
Like if you truly think that we did a character and we were like, man, there could have been more we
Sorry.
done with them, you could always just do it in the past.
And that's kind of what I kind of told Brady when he was writing Dragon Tiger 3. I said, I think Harold has reached his limit of where he can go in the story. I think this is what needs to happen for Danny in his story.
But the good thing is if you can't go further, you could always go backwards
Yes.
and explore the past, which
Yeah.
is what I like to do with a lot of characters. Because like I get this thing where like I talk to Brady sometimes with like plots or something, and I'm like, oh, this character's in it, and he's like, aren't they dead? And I was like, it takes place in the past.
Yeah.
And that explains how the character's still alive. It also helps to develop characters that we want to know more about. Like, for example, Meacham, if he were to come back in a movie, he would likely be interacting with that character for what that movie's based on, or interacting with characters that we know he interacted with but never saw it happen.
Yeah.
So we could actually kind of get to flesh out those interactions a little bit and kind of get to know his character even more, which I think is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Kendall, is there anything you want to say? Yeah, you haven't talked in a while.
About
Anything? Is there anything you'd want to talk about on the podcast?
I'm more of a you ask me a question and I can answer it.
See, well, I didn't have questions prepared for this one.
It's really me and Alice yapping about.
Just look up questions.
Let me see. Let me see if I have questions for other people in here that I could potentially bring to this conversation. Because I do have a whole folder where I just ask specific people questions. But I didn't have any for like duos because I didn't plan to do that.
I truthfully, this is just me talking, but I truthfully think my top 3 favorite people to work with are Alex, Brady, and Dalton.
Okay, all right, boom. Topic conversation. Let's talk about our favorite people to work with. And no, we're not dissing anybody here.
We're not.
We're just giving constructive criticism. All right, Kendall, since you went first, would you like to elaborate a little bit on your 12 choices?
So I obviously like working with Alex because he keeps my head on straight. He tells me if I'm not doing something right and to fix myself. And a lot of people are scared to tell me that because I blow up a lot, even though I try not to. But I still blow up on people sometimes, and it makes me feel bad. So that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people are afraid to put me in check whenever I'm acting strange and who I'm supposed to be. Like with Psylocke, I have forgotten her British accent more times than I can count. And Alex is always the one to be like, "Oh shit, restart. You forgot." And I was like, "Oh, damn."
It's hard to remember to do that.
There was a scene. It was like the first scene we ever shot with Brady. It was the first scene we ever shot for Psylocke. I literally walk in, and I'm English, and I go, in the middle of the scene, I go, "Alex, I forgot the British accent."
I remember that.
So we had to
Okay for that
start
one.
the whole thing over again.
Yep, that happens. It's hard to see. A lot of times in these movies, we're used to playing characters with like similar vocal ranges to ourselves, like whether it's like ours, like a deeper voice or a higher voice. But it's really interesting to try to do accents like consistently.
Now, Brady, you guys will see this. He's not afraid to be a boyfriend character with me. In the Maximoffs, he's Havoc, I'm Polaris, they're dating. And there's a scene where he perfectly executes something that Havoc would do with Polaris. And it felt natural doing it with him because I'm not afraid to act in love with his characters because we're characters, we're not actual people.
It's all acting.
It's all acting. So I'm not afraid to act in love with him, but after I'm gonna be like, oh, that was a little weird. He did it with Hellcat too. He like had to grab me by my throat as you guys saw in the final fight. And
I
he
wouldn't
kind of
call
felt,
that romantic.
no, okay, that was in like the final fight, but like he felt super weird and he kept being like, oh, I don't feel right. And I'm like, Brady, it's just acting. You gotta see it in that way. Not as in you're choking your best friend's girlfriend.
Yeah, 'cause, like, give a little jab to Jack Mac here, but he like often it's another thing. It's one thing to be like frustrated that you don't get to be casted with your significant other as your character significant other, but it's another thing to actively disdain the person making the story for not casting you as it. For example, I have not yet casted Jack Mac as a character who is with one of Shayla's characters. Not because I don't want them to be together. Obviously, it would be very easy.
It's just he doesn't fit the criteria for.
He simply has just not been able to be a character that her characters have been in a thing with. Jessica Jones, she's with Luke Cage. Obviously, Jack Mac isn't black.
Or big or buff.
Scarlet Witch is with Wonder Man, and obviously I had someone I already wanted to be Wonder Man, and I'm not going to recast him just to make it convenient for Jack Mac. And he's also, he gets frustrated about that. At the same time, like, I've casted other people to play Kendall's character's boyfriends. It's not like I'm just playing them. Like,
Granted,
obviously
he did play.
Brady has been her significant other's character like twice.
I have been with Peter Parker, which is Ben canonically.
And Wyatt's character
Wyatt.
in another film I'm making is dating a character that Kendall plays. Have I played a character that dates her characters? A couple times, yeah, but it's not like every time. It's just more, it fits better, you know? Like, obviously, if Jack Mac plays a character that can date a character that Shayla's playing, I'm just going to do that. It's
Like Doctor Strange and Clea.
like Doctor Strange. If I ever did Clea in a film, it would be so easy to just put them together. Yes, they're already a thing. And the actors would
And I
already
think
play this character.
Shayla would be really good as Clea.
I agree. But, like, Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange aren't together. Jessica Jones and any character Jack Mac plays are not together.
It's just it hasn't
happened yet.
hasn't synced up.
Right.
Where it needs to be.
But like a character like
Hellcat and Hyperion.
Hyperion, that works. That's happened, you know. Psylocke and Phantom X, yeah, that's a thing.
That's been a thing. Scarlet Fascinera and Mark. That's been a thing in the comics.
And
We
some
just changed Scarlet's character a little bit.
And some of the things, like some of the characters that Jack Mac plays and some of the characters that Shayla plays, just don't have significant others. We just haven't explored it yet. But I'm not digging at him. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make a point here that you really shouldn't worry about that kind of thing because it's not like I'm doing it on purpose.
And my final top three is Dalton. First of all, he's my cousin, but that's not the reason why he is up there. You guys will see it. Me and him had a fight scene together, and the fight scene was just beautiful. Me and him choreographed everything.
15 minutes
improv.
of pure peak.
Wasn't it a one take? It wasn't one take.
The
it
final
was
bit was a couple.
Almost.
Was some one take. Yeah.
There were a couple things we had to do that we couldn't.
because of
done.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Sadly, me and Dalton aren't good at memorizing our lines. We would have just spewed shit.
I would be if I actually looked at the scripts, but I just kind of glanced at it and then I make it up as I go.
I let him do that a lot, but I only let him not when he has to say something specific that I'm like, hey man, you can't not say that.
If he wants me to say something specific, go off the script. But I don't know. I'm more of a natural actor. What comes naturally to me is what I do or say, within the limitations of what I need to be saying.
Should we do a top 5?
If you want to do 2 more.
Okay, well, my next one would probably be Shayla acting with. Probably because us as Jessica Jones and Hellcat was just so perfect. And everything felt natural. Everything rolled off our tongue perfectly as Hellcat and Jessica. and it just felt right. At her being Jessica, me being Hellcat, both of us talking about the freaking super boys that we want to date or would have sex with. It was just like a really fun scene to record with her, and I don't know. My last. Oh, this is gonna be hard.
You have 3 choices in my mind.
Who do you think?
It's either gonna be Wyatt, Ben, or Jack Mac. That's like the only 3 left.
It's between.
Well, I mean, you could also say Owen and Isaiah because you had a lot of scenes with them in Moon Knight. Or
Oh yeah.
you 3 had good chemistry together. So I mean, actually, it might be harder for you than I thought.
I don't think
Because you
that
haven't really acted with Jack Mac that much.
I haven't acted with Jack Mac that much. I haven't acted with Ben that much. Okay.
That's not true though.
Okay.
But we haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it, but you guys already know Ben is in Psylocke. He's Deadpool. But
Goaded.
he's definitely there. Wyatt would be a very close 6th. Like he's there up next to Ben, but he has
They're
to
literally
go in 6th.
like rubbing up against each other for that top spot.
Yeah, like that's what they are. They're both so fun to work with, but Ben
I could make a joke right there, but I'm not gonna say it.
they're always rubbing up against each other.
That's crazy,
I'm
man.
joking.
Pause.
But what Ben is just so good as Deadpool. I can't wait for you guys to see him.
Ben's an incredible actor.
That is
For-
every
for
character
how-
that he's played.
There's a
nails.
scene where me and Ben are just goofing around. Well, actually, Psylocke and Deadpool are just goofing around, and he says the funniest stuff. Oh, he's just so good.
And a lot of the time he makes it up. Like,
Yeah, he just makes
he
stuff
is
up.
on the spot.
There's a thing that we just added Deadpool into, and he ran with it. He literally ran with it, and it was so
Okay.
perfect.
so detail. So the Psylocke X-Force movie, originally Deadpool is not even supposed to be in it, but we decided to throw him in it to complete the X-Force team. So basically we had to add him to all these different scenes throughout the movie, and add stuff with him, which ended up working out pretty well because we feel like we had that missing piece left that we filled in
Yeah,
with him.
that we were really missing. We were gonna put who was it?
Angel?
Angel. We were gonna put Angel, but then I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to put Angel on the team. So we literally begged that man to let us put Deadpool in that.
Because at the
movie.
time he was working on Deadpool and Wolverine, and that would have kind of confused the plot. But then he was just like, whatever. And now
There's a-
Deadpool's in it.
And now Deadpool's in it, and it just makes the movie 20 times better. He's just
Yeah.
so good.
We filmed one scene the other day. We actually didn't even rewrite this scene, but we just were basically like, we're gonna make some shit up, and the scene is freaking hilarious. It's amazing. It's a great scene between all of the main characters of the X-Force. Power's personality, it's all on display. It's great. Ben is just perfect as every character that he plays.
I also really liked him as Spider-Man at the end of Sins Rising.
Yeah, I kind of wish he
was
was
so
Spider-Man
good.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Not
He
a
makes
dig to the other guy, but Ben is just fantastic.
He makes a great Spider-Man. He
Yes.
really does.
And I cannot wait to see him
He's
moving forward. Because
see, the thing about Dakota, he was a great Peter Parker, not a great
a
Spider-Man.
yeah, I agree.
Now, Ben, he's
Ben's a good
he's
Peter Parker.
Spider-Man and he's Peter Parker. It's literally oh sorry Risotto, I kicked her in the face. It's literally the thing with Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland.
It's just Dakota didn't have it in him to be.
He didn't
Spider-Man.
have the physicality and the animation to be Spider-Man, but he was a great Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because he's quiet, he's down to earth, and that's exactly how Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is the opposite, which Ben can do. But Ben can also play Peter Parker.
So I've been while Kendall's been saying her top 5.
So
I've
you're
been
next,
thinking
man.
I haven't really acted with a lot of people. It's most. I mean, you two. Brady,
Jack.
Jack Mac, kind of, but not really. We maybe had 2 or 3 scenes together the whole time that we've been in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't really acted with a whole lot of
That's
people.
crazy to think.
But
Jonathan too.
yeah, some. I think
Moon
we're
Knight
kind
3 and Secret Avengers mainly.
I'm gonna go off of obviously, Kendall and Alex are the more veteran actors are the ones that are easier to work with. And the easier it is for me to work with somebody, the more I like to work with them. because it just gets too frustrating.
Mhm.
But you know, myself, Jack Mack, Jonathan, Kendall, even Ben, we all have theater backgrounds,
Yes.
so we all have that sort of
Edge.
a different side of acting, but we have that acting. We're able to perform better. Well, not better, but I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. But those ones are, of course, easier to work with. My top person to work with is probably Alex, but it's because we've had so many good themes and good moments.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually went back to see. Alex doesn't know this. I watched Moon Knight 3 to watch your guys' interactions, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Dude, Moon Knight and Bushman
Now I see why
are
this is
the,
like one of the most viewed movies.
we're the
of all time.
greatest villain and hero dynamic in the YTMCU.
I really like this.
Bushman and Moon Knight's beef
That
is
is
nuts.
that
and
is
we are
until Psylocke comes out.
No,
I'm
maybe.
joking. I'm joking.
Fight scene, yes. Character, no.
Uh,
No, I don't think her and the villain of that movie have nearly as much beef as those two
okay,
do.
not as much beef. Chemistry wise, it was really good.
Yeah, I would say it's good. It's a completely different thing
Yeah, that is true.
because the
This is-
character in Psylocke is almost masquerading
Yes.
as someone he's not, but Bushman is outright just like, I fucking raped your wife, bitch, and I'm gonna kill you. And then it's like, fuck you. It's just
That's I still think back to the final fight scene in Moon Knight 2. They're in the parking garage, and
Yeah.
at the time I beat myself up over it. Was like, oh god, this is a horrible fight scene. I did terrible. That yada yada yada. Looking back on it, I mean, the chemistry
truly
too.
one
we
of
made the
greatest.
entire thing up basically in one
Yeah.
shot, and it was a big one take. So
It was none of that was scripted, pretty much.
yeah, we kind of
At
made it
least
all up.
our stuff. And it's so underrated.
I think though, so in Moon Knight 2, we set up like kind of this thing that they had going on, but Moon Knight 3 just expanded on it so much. You
And
saw
added
that like
Sun King in. Oh,
having a third villain.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't technically third. Having a second villain in to kind of balance the two out was so interesting.
Mhm.
Because like you had someone, Sun King was basically there to hate Moon Knight, but Bushman was there to hate Mark Spector.
Yeah.
You saw how much like Bushman had an effect on Moon Knight. Like he was in his freaking nightmares, hallucinations, and as far as he had known, Bushman was dead, but he still haunted his mind. And Bushman coming back and basically using the main villain of that movie to get back at Mark. Perfect.
it was a beautiful. It's a masterpiece, really.
Yeah, if we had to, we'll probably rank this eventually in a video because we're definitely going to rank hero and villain like relationships.
Mhm.
Those two got to be at the top.
Yeah.
As of right now, those two have to be the top hero and
That's
villain.
That is until Maximoff's comes out. That
That
one.
one's
That
cra-
one's
that one's
really
different though.
good.
That's their dad, man.
That one's really good.
There's a lot of hero and villain fight like dynamics that are coming up soon, like Spider-Man, Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
That one will be fucking crazy. Of course, the Maximoffs and Magneto is a whole thing. Psylocke and her villain is a one thing.
And there's a reason why we're keeping.
I haven't said the name of the
silent.
villain.
It's a little secret.
A certain character and her villain, who's a fucking eldritch demon creature.
Oh yeah.
Another character with a flaming head and his eldritch demon villain. There,
Flaming.
there's a lot of eldritch
That
demon
gave it
villains.
away.
Yeah.
Cough,
I
cough.
mean, there's only
There's only
One.
in the
One.
YTMCU. There's only one character with a flaming head.
the Human Torch.
That's right. That is
I
absolutely correct.
wish.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to do Fantastic
But
Four.
no,
You look so pretty.
Thank you.
of course, Kendall and
For the
Alex
record.
top of my list.
Talk about her a little bit. You already talked about me. Talk about her.
Kendall is just naturally. I don't know. She's just naturally easy to work with, and it might be the family dynamic. It might just be, the fact that she, is a veteran actor. But we mesh so well,
Mhm.
especially in this upcoming movie. It's
Bro,
just-
Hold up. I want to say this. The one scene between all three of us,
Yeah.
is fucking baller.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it.
Right. Yeah. That one was so sad.
Oh yeah,
That scene is nuts. Like when all three of us converge in that big final
Oh.
scene, it's amazing.
I'm sorry in advance, guys.
Um,
It's a heartbreaker.
yeah, Brady is another one of my favorite ones to work with.
You've got a lot. I'd say you even have more with him than you do with me, honestly.
Yeah,
Being both
being the father mentor.
the father mentor, the Bushman Sun King thing.
Yeah.
All right, now tell us what you thought about Brady whenever you first started working with him.
God, I was scared. I was worried. I'll tell him this to his face. I was worried to death because he was so awkward and just didn't really know what to do, and it just we went from an actor was playing Iron Fist, Caleb was playing Iron Fist at the time, and we kind of had built chemistry.
You basically had a restart.
And just
Yeah.
having to restart, and it was just oh my god, I had to walk him through stuff, and it was just
Oh man.
In which I will
Man,
say
did it pay off?
it did pay off.
Brady has come into his own so much. He's shaking. Kendall just made some gestures.
She was referencing a character Brady plays that said hand gestures.
Yeah. But no, he's just. I don't. It was like a light switch turned on for him, and just he is doing incredible. You can tell he actually enjoys being here. Enjoys
Real,
doing
yeah, yeah.
what we do.
He's so fun.
Oh yeah. After Brady, honestly, I haven't filmed a lot with Jack Mac. Haven't been done a lot of scenes.
Except
But-
for Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
In which
I
that's
just
not
really
even a lot, really.
No.
Yeah, he just really hasn't interacted with them much.
In which, in theater, you guys acted a lot together.
Right. So I kind of know how it is to work with him. Jack Mac is just off the cuffs. You know, whatever needs to happen, he does, and he does it well.
And if he has some input, he'll put it in. And
Yeah.
if someone doesn't like it, he'll take it and just he won't use it.
And that's where I was going. Behind the scenes, Jack Mac's one of my favorite people to work with because we bounce ideas off of each other.
Jack Mac's one of my
so
favorite
much.
people.
Real.
Really, he is. I love the guy.
I truly count him as one of my closest friends.
I consider him as my brother.
I
pretty
did
much.
think he hated me.
Right? I mean, we all kind of.
Jack Mac always hates everyone at first, and then he's like, "Damn, y'all are cool."
It's a big brother thing. You know, we're basically Alex's pseudo big brothers, and you know, of course, we have to hate the new girl, but
Oh, you didn't.
she's grown on us. I wouldn't say that at first, but no, you've done.
That's
Done-
fair. A
you
lot
done
of
good.
people hate me without knowing me.
So
But no, Jack Mac is incredible to work with. Jonathan, of course, I love Jonathan, but he's just he flips a switch like that, and he's in acting mode. Gosh, I don't even know who else I haven't worked with Ben any. Wyatt, I haven't really worked with.
yeah, because around the time those guys were coming in, you were going out, but now you're coming
Out.
back in, so now you're probably gonna get to be with them more.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm hoping because watching Ben and Wyatt, they're such incredible actors. Wyatt's I don't even know how he's never acted before.
In an
this.
upcoming movie, Wyatt literally throws a chair and screams, and it was one of the rawest moments I have ever seen.
We're gonna get into that after we do our top 5 favorites, because I want to talk about our top 5, who we think are best,
Okay.
not including us 3.
Okay.
Well, I guess that segues into my top 5. My top 5 is probably the hardest because obviously I've worked with literally
Everyone.
every single person in the YTMCU. This is in no particular order.
I do want to
Also-
add one.
I'll wait until I hear your
Yeah, I'll let you two go first and say your thoughts, because mine's gonna be a little bit heavier.
It's gonna be weird. I like working with Cole
Alec?
when Cole was here.
Yeah.
Because Cole, not the greatest actor in the world, but he took advice.
Mhm.
If you know,
He did. He was really receptive.
yeah. If I
can
sat him
appreciate that
down
about
and
him.
was like, "Okay, Cole, you're doing this. You need to do this," I enjoy that. That makes me feel good when I can see that the gears
Change.
start
And
turning.
then he actually
Yes.
tries to do what you
Yes.
said he should do.
And that's amazing. I'm not saying that I know everything, but you know, if I see something, I'm gonna say it, and if it doesn't work out, then wrong. But
It's nice to see someone try anyway.
yeah, a lot of times I'm right, but
And when Cole Allen came back and did that one scene, a single scene
Yes.
for Spider-Man, it was fucking crazy.
It was
How
really
well
good.
it was.
I
It
think
was
I
so good.
I think I cried.
The Kilgrave scene was amazing. I was like, that was
That
literally.
was,
I asked him, I was like, how
Bro
did you do that?
bro was away for a long time and then came
Mhm.
back, did that scene, and left again.
I wish he would come back so I could do a Winter Soldier 3 because I know that shit would pop off.
Yeah.
I know it would.
I was like a proud dad.
Yeah, we all watched that clip at the watch party and everyone was like, damn, Cole was good.
Yeah, he's coming to. The...
But back to the thing of Alex casting himself as my love interests. He's literally my brother in Maximos.
I have her brother.
Can
And I'm
we-
also her brother in another movie.
That is true. He is
Yeah.
also my brother in another movie.
Yep.
So it's not always me and him. And I'm sure you guys know that we're not trying to make our love be in all of the movies. No, it was literally I truly felt bad posting Hellcat and then right after it being Moon Knight 4, two movies where we're the love interest, but I was like, well, it was the stuff we got
It's just
done
how-
first, and
I also think it's a lot easier to create an authentic romance between us compared to most people.
anyway, your top 5.
My top 5. It's so fucking hard. I could do a top 10, bro. So top 5. This is in no particular order. I'm gonna be completely dead ass honest here. I'm going to not filter my thoughts at all. I'm just gonna say who I think is best and why. Go from there. All right. First, I'm gonna open the elephant in the room here and talk about Dalton. Dalton and I have had some fantastic fucking scenes together. We, as I've said this already, are known for being the best hero-villain relationships in the entire YTMCU.
Oh, sorry.
Moon Knight and Bushman, despite being essentially a guy with superpowers versus a guy with no powers.
I'll be back. I'm gonna fill up the water.
Would you mind filling me up? Thank you.
Do you mind filling me up?
Need a refill, please.
I guess since it's just me and you, I'll talk about it now. But man, me and you have done some of the best scenes together. Man, honestly, the Moon Knight and Bushman thing is on a whole other level to me because, like, I don't know if I should chalk this up to us, our like relationship as people, or our just like the acting, the writing, but
It's a combination of both.
it's an interesting thing to see the actual ramifications of what a villain does to a character.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times these movies, like the character will defeat the villain or kill the villain, and then they just won't think about them afterwards.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 times that I can recall, 2 or 3 times that I can recall where it really happens. With Moon Knight, it's the greatest. In Secret Avengers, he has friggin' nightmares thinking about how he killed Bushman. In Moon Knight 3, he has literal hallucinations of Bushman showing up in his fucking house. And the final fight between the two is so cathartic because we know that Bushman is a terror upon his life. He's killed his wife, raped his wife, killed and ate his fucking daughter. Is essentially responsible for the lifelong curse that Moon Knight has upon him. You know, him dying and being reborn. It's essentially all Bushman's fault. So
Risotto laughed.
Risotto is gone. But not only, I could go on for hours about the whole Bushman Moon Knight thing, but then we also have like Meacham and Wendell. It was only one scene, but the scene is so well made.
It's heart wrenching watching that scene back, knowing what's gonna happen.
Any character that I interact with Dalton and me, we're just a good match. One scene, I don't know if you remember this, back in Secret Avengers, there's a scene where Moon Knight confronts Harold Meacham about the death of Danny's parents. And it's basically like, you take care of that kid or I'll fucking kill you.
I kind of remember it. Secret Avengers is a blur. I don't remember much of Secret Avengers.
Yeah, that movie's we definitely gotta go do a watch party. Just watch all of them again. That'd be fantastic. But me and Dalton have just had such amazing scenes together, such amazing characters together.
And it goes back to our friendship and stuff because I hate talking about Grease, But that's that musical shaped mine, Jonathan and Jack Mac's friendships, and eventually mine and Alex's. But it made our acting so great because we were best friends already.
Right.
Made our chemistry perfect. Jason and myself, because we were already friends.
Right.
And it really does help when you know your dance partner so well, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, definitely. I just you know that you can work well with somebody when you can take a scene between two characters that you have never played before. Up until that point, like fight scene for the one movie.
Yeah.
You had never played that character yet,
Never.
and I had. I think I'd only played that characters once, but we'd never met each other as those characters. And yet the sequence with those two is somehow just freaking awesome, despite having played two completely random characters who, by the way, never meet in the entire movie until the very end. But somehow the sequence between the two is just freaking fabulous.
The reason why this big of a scene was filmed first was because it's such a big scene. I was going out of town. I wanted to get out of the way before I left. So
I think it was good that we did it then.
we did. It turned out amazing, and I think it worked better because I had less time to think about the character.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyways, back to we got off topic there for a little bit.
I'll leave it there with you because obviously I could go on for hours about Moon Knight and Bushman or anything that we've done. It's just been interesting, and it's not even just as actors. Like as directors, it's fun to direct Dalton because often he will do what I want him to do, but he'll also be willing to make creative changes and kind of do his own thing. But he knows enough about the characters that he plays that when he makes those changes, it doesn't like not make sense. Like there's certain people that I've worked with that have been like, let me change this about a character, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? That character would not do that. But Dalton's not one of those people. He just does what the character would do. He embodies the characters that he plays super well.
Method.
Yeah. Which I really like people that do that, like to like actually try to be their characters and not just try to pretend to be their characters. Like there is 100% a difference between I am going to be the character. I'm going to think like the character. I'm going to walk, talk, act like the character, fight like the character versus I'm going to try to be this person while wearing the costume regardless of how much knowledge I have for them. Like there are certain people that stepped into roles and was like, I don't know anything about this character. And then there were some who were like, I am this character, and I'm going to be this character until I walk off the set. Dalton's one of those people. As Harold Meacham, he became him, and to the point where it created a character legacy. Harold Meacham is I'd say, one of two characters that can be one of the most popular and most interesting characters in the YTMCU, despite having literally no superpowers whatsoever. Him and Gina Flint, Meacham and Gina Flint, the two people that have no powers, no abilities, but are just so influential because of the people that played them and how they were played.
You can resonate with those two characters.
Like Meacham was literally just a guy, but when he died, it was insane because people were like, "Oh my god, the character who was like a father figure to Danny and had so much lore and all this is dead."
Yeah.
And despite not having powers, and like basically doing nothing in the final fight with the character that killed him besides running away, it still was so. You were. There are some people that I know that watched that and didn't think he was gonna die there, but then when he did, they were like, "Wow, he's really gone."
Still one of my favorite scenes.
He's really gone.
The whole car following scene.
Yeah, with
One of
Bullseye.
my favorite things,
Yeah.
so.
Off topic, but that scene made me really appreciate Bullseye. But anyway, I think Meacham, Bushman, obviously, are your two biggest. Then you have other characters that you've played supplementally, like Hannibal King. Hannibal King's not the best character you played,
No.
but I mean, he was good. He was good.
Again, back to your top 5. We keep on getting on topic.
I do.
We like to yap.
I was gonna say, I do think if you did go back and play Hannibal King again, though, you could do really well.
Yeah.
That's a character I'd love to see again because as far as he never died, he's still alive. So as far as we know, he could totally come back, and it wouldn't be stupid. My next one, I'm gonna have to go with. Again, this isn't in any order. Because if I was going in order, you'd probably be like number 2. Yeah, I will go in order. I'll put you at number 2. Number 2. Kendal, I'm gonna put you at number 5. I know it's low, But let me give you my reasoning.
I am kind of difficult to work with.
It's not even just that. I
She
truly,
argues a lot.
I truly just don't think her and I have had those character interactions that really define like a legacy. Like sure, Moon Knight and Bloodhunter had a lot of beef in their movie and they had a great romantic thing going on. But we haven't really seen the fallout of it per se. Like we don't really know what comes after that. Now, granted, we did have some great scenes together. The fight scenes, the scenes where they kind of reconcile each other after the ending of the movie.
I also want you guys to know that second fight scene between Mark and Scarlet was the first thing we ever filmed
Yes, as those two characters.
as those two characters. And
It might have been the first thing we ever filmed together at all. Like,
and
as
he
characters.
kicked me in the stomach, causing me to fall backwards. And then he also slammed my head against the wall, knocking me out on accident. I promise, guys, it was on accident.
Y'all trying to get you and trying to get me canceled for
No,
domestic violence. Anyway,
it was totally an accident, guys. I promise.
but no. Kendall and I obviously I don't want to talk about our personal relationship because obviously we're fucking engaged. And, blah blah blah. But what really defines our acting together as people so far is we have played characters, but they haven't been deep to the point where it's created a really big legacy, I should say. Like, I honestly think the best dynamic we've had so far has been as Hyperion and Moonstone.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think what really defines a thing between two actors is playing characters that you are not. Like, her and I as Moon Knight and Bloodhunter, like, obviously, it's literally just our relationship. A chick with BPD and a guy with fucking bipolar trying to make it work, and they want to fight.
Well, he's not really you, because, he has Jake, Conchu, and Steven living in his head.
Anyway, that wasn't the point. But, Hellcat and Hyperion, I mean, their relationship was kind of
Dare I say,
basic
yeah.
so far. And I was like, okay, that's really nothing special because we're just acting like we are when we're together. But Moonstone and Hyperion was a whole other thing because she's trying to kill me and I'm trying to beat her up so that she doesn't kill a child. But point of that is I think that's why I had a lot of fun with her so far. I'm very excited to do more scenes with Psylocke and Phantom X or Polaris and Quicksilver. And I definitely think by the time those movies are done and come out, she will definitely be more than a number 5.
And there was a really good scene me and Alex filmed as Quicksilver and Polaris. It was just a scene of him trying to get to know her, and it was really a heartfelt scene. And of course, Polaris has to put in her witty little comments while they are getting to know each other.
Yeah. I think it's just really fun to work with her because obviously, just recording the characters and the actual like relationships of it, she's just fun to work with because she knows what she's doing. Not only does she know what she's doing, but she actually cares. Like, I'm not gonna say anyone in specific, but sometimes we work with people on set, and they just act like they don't even want to be there. Sometimes, not all the time. Yeah, sometimes. But Kendall's one of those people that always comes on set and is trying to be her best. Even on days she's sick, she's going through stuff, she does her best. And I can appreciate that because she's almost never had a bad performance except for when she played Hellcat.
Oh,
But that's just because she didn't know how to play
that
the
was
character.
embarrassing.
But like as Psylocke, as Polaris, as Bloodhunter, she has like never had a bad scene. And I'm excited for more. So that's my number 5. At number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Wyatt Heffinger. Not to say why. Obviously, Wyatt and I have had 2 big character interactions together, which you two will both support these as being some of the best character moments together. For one, Wolverine and Mr. X.
Oh,
Yes.
That scene was incredibly fun. Wyatt and I loved fighting, doing the choreography.
Wyatt not so much because
Wyatt
you
didn't
had
want to get
real
stabbed by the real
you
swords
had
that I
real
had.
swords.
And it was really fun just to like, because that was like almost when I was first still getting to know Wyatt.
He was just so funny.
And it really made me like him. And Wyatt loves his characters that he plays. Like, he literally had like a self-debate for several months over who he liked more between Green Goblin and Wolverine. And I think that was really funny because then it made it a little rivalry between me and Brady over which movie he had more fun with. And Wyatt, he's just fun. He's fun. He pays a lot of attention. He nails every character that he plays.
He asks questions.
Yeah, he asks, like, what am I supposed to act like in this scene? There's not a single character that he has played so far that I hadn't liked. Obviously, he's a perfect Wolverine. I think you can both agree with me on that. He literally is Wolverine. He's like 5'6". He's filled with rage. He's tiny.
He's perfect.
He's a perfect Wolverine because he's also Southern. He's got that gruff accent. And he can fight with that kind of, short man style. And I think me and him as Wolverine and Mr. X, we had a lot of fun. So we got to know each other basically, and it was just a great time.
Can I just add, it's so funny whenever he turns that accent off.
Yeah, and he just does his normal voice. It's hilarious.
It's insane to me. He can go from, because his normal voice, it has the accents and the sort of the real gruff, Western sort of. That's his actual voice.
When I get him on the podcast, y'all are gonna be like, "That's actually his real voice." Holy shit!
But then he can just go to normal, like I'm talking now.
It's so strange, but it's amazing.
Anyways,
It truly shows his range.
Yeah.
Wyatt is a fantastic. It's so fucking weird. Wyatt never acted before the YTMCU. He just came in and was good. He played two of the best characters right off the bat. Wolverine and Green Goblin were his first two roles.
Mm-hmm.
First two roles. And they're some of the best characters in the entire freaking series. But anyway, let's segue into that. Green Goblin. I've sung my praises for the character of Green Goblin for God knows how long. You two, I'd even like you two to kind of attest to Green Goblin real quick. Like how good Wyatt was as him. I'm sure you both agreed that he was great.
Yeah. But
I really, really enjoyed being Sin Eater and Green Goblin because it was a dynamic that you hadn't seen a lot, which was two villains against each other. It's like a lot of times it's like a hero against a villain or a hero against a hero. But in our universe, it was so fun. It was a villain against a villain. And it was like actually not just they fought for no reason. It was actually a plot. That was the whole story. Was that the one villain wanted to kill the other villain and the hero had to stop them. And I think it was really fun. I had a lot of fun with Wyatt. Me and Wyatt got to know each other a whole lot based off that. Wyatt's just funny. He's fun to be around. He cares a lot about his characters. He is one of those people that gets in the character. Like he wants to be Wolverine or he wants to be Green Goblin. I'd even say he's good at his minor characters like Speed Demon. He's a good Speed Demon. He was good as Soldier. Oh, and Soldier. Soldier's a great role that he played too.
I love Soldier.
He can play a great comedic relief. He can play a great serious character. He can play a great villain. He just has such great range that we've seen. The one thing I really like to say about actors is like I comment on their range. For example, Kendal has really only played like a certain type of characters. She plays the bubbly go lucky character and the edgy character. That's basically what you all have seen so far. But she has a whole bunch of characters laid behind that, like sarcastic, funny, goofy, all this different shit. Dalton, he's played the straight man, Hannibal King or Meacham, but he's also played the fucking bastard villain in Bushman. And Wyatt is another one of those people that has great range. He's a gruff Western cowboy who's also a brutal animal on the inside. He's a psychotic person with multiple personalities. He is a guy who just runs really fast and likes to steal shit. He can be a lot of people, or sometimes he's just a dude wearing a bandana that likes to work for a creepy guy in a white hood that punches people to death.
That sounded weird.
Yeah. As Luke Cage would say, maybe you aren't allowed in Harlem, son. But Wyatt's just great to act with. He's like one of my best friends also, so that really helps.
I love Wyatt.
I love
So
acting
good.
with him. Like, I'm excited to do some upcoming roles that me and him have together.
I love acting with him, but I also love seeing the final product of just him acting. Like,
He's just so good.
The first time I ever met Wyatt was at the Wolverine shooting, and it was literally like he was a super goofy guy, and then he turned into Wolverine, and I was like, what the frick?
And he actually is Wolverine. Like, he's not pretending to be Wolverine. Like, you can watch that and be like, damn, that's Wolverine. He's literally Wolverine.
Next.
Next.
We're such yappers.
So, we got Kendall in 5, Wyatt in 4. Number 3, I'm going to have to say Jacob McIntyre.
Not Ben?
No, Ben's not in my top 5. Ben's not.
Not for Tudor?
No.
Oh, That is crazy. Okay, continue.
Listen, I'm not rating him based on how good he is.
That is
for
true.
the next list,
That is true.
which he is on. Anyway,
He is hard to work with sometimes.
that is
It's
not
just
true.
because
It's just because
he's an idiot.
He's an idiot. He's a literal idiot, but he's so funny.
Anyway, that was
Sorry.
interesting.
I love you, Ben.
Jack Mac and I are obviously close friends. We're tighter than a nun's knickers. But that sounded a little weird.
And
Knickers, like the pants. God Christ.
But
Um,
I actually
With the
agree
envelope?
with Alex where he put Jack Mac because he's told me things and he's probably gonna tell you guys about the Sin Eater scene and how it
Dalton Gould gave me the eyes of PTSD.
and
I
how
said that out loud.
like the two of them were like so not that close and then that scene brought them closer, but like that's
Well, I
besides
guess I
the
don't have
point.
to say that anymore.
Anyway,
But,
sorry.
um,
Just talk about it anyway.
we'll kind of go in chronological order here. So, getting Jack Mac to be in the YTMCU was like trying to pull teeth. He didn't really want to do it, and then eventually he caved in at Dragon and Tiger 2. And it's like, okay. He was like, yo, could I be Doctor Strange? Really like him. And he was like joking, and I was like, yes. He's like, what? And I was like, yes, you're Doctor Strange now. And then he was Doctor Strange. Him as Doctor Strange is obviously a great character. Between Dragon and Tiger 2 and 3, Sin Eater, Spider-Man, Moon Knight 3, Midnight Suns. He is Doctor Strange. I mean, we can all agree. Jack Mac's best role is Doctor Strange.
I really like him as
He
Doctor
is
Strange.
Doctor Strange. Especially in Midnight Suns, we saw that. He is just... He can be the analytical type, but he can also be the sarcastic type, but he can also be
Ew.
the rageful, angry type, like Doctor Strange is. He's a lot of different characters.
You can tell he really enjoys playing that character.
Oh, absolutely.
He's really good.
I could sing my praises about Doctor Strange, but I obviously...
You're going into the yellow.
I could sing my praises about Doctor Strange till the cows come home, but obviously Jack Mac is just that character. And what I love about him, Dalton brought this up earlier. He's one of those people who can make a convincing idea to put into the character, and I can be like, "Yo, why didn't I think of that?" Doctor Strange would totally do that.
Jack
Like-
Mac's good to bounce ideas off.
I agree.
Because
He's really good at playing the characters and being the characters.
Yeah.
And he's very creative, which is good.
No, you're the only one awake. You can't just leave him here. Sorry.
Schizophrenia is kicking in. Yeah.
My sim thought it was.
Who
okay
else
to
is
just leave
Jack
him.
Mac hasn't really played characters. Now that I think about it,
Um,
like Doctor Strange is really his
You were
only
going to give him
super
that.
big one,
that.
other than
No,
the
not
other one I'm
big.
going to talk about.
Yeah. That one.
Let's talk about James Rosenthal real quick.
Let's see James Rosenthal's card.
Let's see James Rosenthal's card. So, before we did Senator, Jack Mac and I weren't like super close friends. On the set of Dragon and Tiger 2, he kind of just was doing what I said because he wanted to be good as the character, not really because he liked me that much. I mean, he did like me, but not like he does now. But Sin Eater, I was like, hey, Jacob, would you like to be this...
Full named him.
Would you like... Hello, Jacob Wayne McIntyre. Would you like to
Oh!
be...
It's gonna feel weird when he watches that.
He's going to be like, hey.
That hurts.
I said, hey, man, you want to be this character? He's like, sure. And I was like, his name is Judge Rosenthal. He's a random judge. He gets killed off in this movie, and you kind of look like him, so I want you to play him. And he's like, sure, why not? I'll do it. And then, because I was like, I want you to be more characters than just one. He's like, sure, I'll do it. So we did a scene where, now that the movie's basically done, I can just kind of reveal that this was not the original intention. The original scene, what happened was, Senator comes in to the apartment complex. And
Did you just say almost done? That movie is posted. You said almost done.
whoops. Didn't know I had a grammar Nazi next to me.
Oh.
Sorry, I was reading ChatGPT.
Oh.
Okay. Continue.
But anyway, the original scene was Senator walks into Jack Mac, James Rosenthal's apartment and is like, hey, have you heard anything going on about the Senator files? And James Rosenthal's like, dude, what are you doing here? It's like 3 a.m. He's like kind of picking out the door. And Stanley's like, nah, man, I want information. I want to know stuff. And we find out that Judge Rosenthal is actually a guy who had prostitutes and was cheating on his wife and was a corrupt judge. And we filmed the death scene where...
Oh, I didn't know that about him.
Yeah, originally he was supposed to be a bad person. But then we did the death scene and Jack Mac was like, what if we made their relationship, good? Yeah. And I was like, okay. So we added some stuff. Basically, I want you to know this. Every scene between him and I was made up.
I know.
Not a single one of this was written.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Senator, but all the scenes that James
No.
Rosenthal and Senator had, all of them were made up. They're all made up.
On the spot too.
Yeah, all of them were. We basically were just like, okay, yeah, and you shot most of them. I'm pretty sure. We're just like, okay, we're gonna make them best friends. So it ended up being that Rosenthal was a judge who, was really close to the police department, who Stanley's best friends with, and they had a tight relationship. Like they knew each other's kids, each other's wives. They worked together, and James had looked out for him, and James is basically like, I'll do anything I can to protect your family. And it ended up being that the friendship that they had was unfortunately destroyed by Stanley's own internal thing. And you can ask Jack Mack, you can ask me. When we did that death scene, both of us literally sobbed in real life because it was almost, when you get into that role of a character like we both were at the time, it's almost like you're actually killing your best friend, or your best friend's actually killing you. And that scene, that whole movie just brought us closer together. He let me drive his fucking car. We just had a lot of tight moments.
I'll never forget.
Which, if you don't know, is very rare for Jack Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rare. I was here the day they filmed the death scene, and they went in the bathroom to film it. They were in there. It was like
It was wild.
just you two.
Yep.
You put it up on the thing. Nobody else was in there. Nobody was filming. And you guys both walked out. You were in tears. Like it was like
Aww.
red face, tears. I'm like, what happened in there? And then watching it, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
And that scene was just so. Even Dakota Glasscock, who's our friend who reviews movies and watches them all the time, did not expect this to happen. He was like, he's not going to kill James Rosenthal. He's going to let him live. I did not let him live. And
At
Dakota
that
was like,
time,
no fucking way.
it was insane.
Because that whole movie was built up like they were best friends. Like, if anyone were to live throughout the Senator's crusade for vengeance, it would have been him. But not even he made it out alive, which just cemented what kind of character that Senator was. And that's one reason why I love working with Jack Mack, because he can establish such an interesting character just by adding a few scenes. And then, obviously, you have Midnight Suns, which, that movie's freaking awesome. He had good chemistry with me, with you, Brady, Isaiah, and fucking Gabe. His scenes with Gabe was for freaking crazy. Mephisto and Doctor Strange playing poker were fucking nuts.
That's an insane scene.
That scene is what really sold me that Jack Mack is Doctor Strange.
Arguably,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Gabe in that scene, but I really liked Jack Mack in it.
it was
Gabe was just too much for Mephisto, in my opinion.
Gabe's best scene he's ever done. But
Yeah,
Still.
it was just still too much because I
I
don't
like
think
the way
Mephisto would be
I
like.
like the way that he acted, but I don't like the character he was acting for. Yeah. Like,
I don't like this film.
Mephisto's a bit more quiet.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of, anyway, not about him. Fuck him. But Jack Mack as Doctor Strange is just fucking crazy. That is his character through and through.
Is number one Brady?
It is. Number one is Brad Haas. And I'm going to bring up more than just acting for this shit. So, of course, Brady and I, by the time that I showed him the YTMCU series, the only thing that had been made was Moon Knight 1, Winter Soldier, Dragon Tiger 1, and Moon Knight 2. And I was basically like, hey man, you want to be in these movies? And he's like, yeah, I'll think about it. Because like we had just met. I was like, hey, he was like, yeah, I found out he was into nerd stuff. I was like, hey man, you want to be in these movies? He's like, sure, I'll think about it. And he was like, yeah man, I'd love to play any character. And I was talking to him about like Iron Fist, and he's like, oh, Iron Fist is really cool. I'd love to play him, but you already have a guy for him. Well, anyway, we were doing Secret Avengers, and that guy was like, yeah man, I ain't doing this movie no more. And so I was like, hey Brady Haas, are you free right now? And he's like, actually I am. What's up? And I was like, would you like to be Iron Fist? And he's like, yeah.
Aw.
So he came to filming. We shot the final fight of Secret Avengers. And he was a pretty good Iron Fist.
And he just stayed.
And we refilmed all the stuff with Caleb. With removed Caleb Johnson, put in Brady. And then I was like, I'm gonna make another movie about Iron Fist with you. And he's like, awesome. We made Dragon Tiger 2. He gained a relationship with you, with Hale, with Jack Mack, me, Wayne even. And he really showed that he cared about the character, and then he had fun with the premise. And I even let him direct some of the scenes to kind of get like what he wanted to do, because he was just so into it. And then obviously you have fucking Sun King, one of our best YTMC villains,
One of his best roles.
one of his best roles. Period.
I was worried. I was like, okay, Brady, you're kind of getting too into this character, but he did it incredibly.
Yeah, like he has some of my favorite character roles, like Black Knight, Sun King, Iron Fist, freaking yeah. But not only this, but Brady, I would, no offense to anyone else, I would say he probably cares about these movies the most out of anyone in the group, because he made his own. He made Wolverine Brotherhood and Dragon and Tiger 3, two of our best movies. He made both of them. He's working on 3 films right now, which all look like they're gonna be freaking awesome.
I can't wait to see those.
I can't wait to see all of them and get to be in them as well. Brady does a lot of work. He makes his own costumes. He buys his own costumes. We were literally shooting for a scene today for a character, mind you, who is a extremely obscure character. He sat there and researched and read and watched scenes of this character from the movie that he was in, just to get into the role. Like, he puts a lot of effort into it, and Brady and I have gotten super tight through it as well. Like the Sun King stuff, that was really fun. The Iron Fist movies were just a great time. I'd say Brady got even closer with. I mean, obviously, from what Dalton said, you know that him and Dalton got closer because of this stuff. Him and I did too. But one of the things that I think really brought Brady and I together is writing stuff together, like coming up with ideas, because us feeding off each other is what created stuff like Dragon and Tiger 3 and Moon Knight 4. And together, basically since the group has sewn itself back together, him and I and Dalton and Jack took the reins of everything and really just were like, okay, we're not gonna just do this anymore. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it something. There has not been a bad movie since. First movie that we did, Midnight Suns. Everything after that has been great. Wolverine, Dragon and Tiger, Moon Knight 4, Hellcat, Spider-Man, Quicksilver, Hyperion, Shocker. It's all been fun. It's just been really enjoyable. And I think that part of that is just, obviously you guys, but me and Brady, just coming up with all these crazy ideas and sitting on the phone for hours, writing stuff down, watching movie reviews, watching the movies, just looking at stuff. It's just been. I wish I could do that with all of you, like just watch movies with you guys and kind of come up with things we could have done better, or just think of things to do.
You and I did that.
Yeah. You and I. It's basically just you, me, and him. Like me and Jack haven't really watched movies together. Me and Ben, Wyatt, Kendall, even we haven't really sat down and like watched movies and been like, oh, this would have been cool. This would have not been cool. This and that. I'm sure we will at some point, but not yet.
I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Right.
But we could redo. We could go back and redo them again, and we would do it right.
I would love to redo like the first 5 movies in the YTMCU. Like
Yeah.
Moon Knight 1, Secret Avengers. I'd love to remake those because they would be freaking crazy. If
We were
did
just
now.
young, dumb kids and knew what the hell we were doing.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you redid them, it would kind of get rid of that whole development. Because like Moon Knight 1, with the quality of the stuff we have now, would probably be a fantastic film. But to see it how it is something else.
It truly shows how far you guys have come.
Like, watch the first fight scene of Moon Knight 1 and the first fight scene of Moon Knight 4. It is so fucking different.
The final fight versus the final fight of Moon Knight 4.
Moon Knight 1, it's a guy fighting some guys in a warehouse and he shoots them and they die. Moon Knight 4, it's him and his buddies fighting against these ultra powerful fucking super vampires. It's crazy.
Insane.
And the camera quality, the writing, the acting, the costumes, crazy.
Everything's going to
Crazy.
We had our moments where
Sober.
you could tell right before Midnight Suns. You could tell we were getting tired.
Quicksilver and the first Daredevil, we could tell we were starting to decline with quality.
We just had so much going.
We had to take a break. And when we finally came back and did Midnight Suns, that movie is metal as hell.
Yeah.
Because we were all so excited to be there. You can watch the behind the scenes. It was a large group. We all were so happy to do it. We all had the costumes. It was fun. It was fun to bring it back. Because we were kind of with the idea that it was over. Anyway, yeah, that's my top 5.
Long-winded top 5.
Kendall, would you like to start on the top 5 best people in your opinion?
I'll start at 5. That's hard.
Top 5 best actors.
Is that including
Or we can
you
always.
two? Like,
No, let's not include us. Us three.
Okay. Yeah, let's not include us because we're obviously the best.
I mean,
come on.
but no, like seriously, we talk about us three enough. You know, it's good to give the other people who come up.
We can either rank them based on like we can either rank them based on, should we rank the top 5 or should we just rank everyone from worst to best?
I don't want to rank everyone. We'll just do top 5.
Yeah, who else in this freaking?
That is true.
Yeah, there's a
Who
lot.
are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, number 5, based on what I have seen in person and on screen, I will say Isaiah Blair.
Yes, I would
Isaiah
agree.
Blair, I'm
That
gonna
man is about to have 2 of the most saucy roles I've ever
Oh my
fucking
God.
done.
me and him in Moon Knight 4. We did so good as Grandma and Blood Hunter. I'd say my 6th position, we're not going that far, but right after him would be probably Owen. Because me and him had that. Actually, I think Owen's going to go in number 4, but we'll talk about that. Me and Isaiah, we had the chemistry, and it was just really good to play brother and sister with him. He was the cold, calculating type, while she was the fierce, not leader, but the fierce.
She thought she was the leader.
She definitely thought she was the leader, but the leader was definitely Grandma. She was definitely the fierce girl of it. And obviously you had Nemean,
The big tough guy.
the big tough guy, and it just worked between the 3.
So the 3 of them were all so different, but they meshed together so well.
Like, you guys didn't see this from the behind the scenes, but me, Isaiah, and Isaac, and Owen all came together during the final fight of Moon Knight 4. I was going through my period cramps. It was so bad, and those
we
three
filmed
literally-
the final fight of Moon Knight 4 while Kendall was on her period, and she still played Blood Hunter.
And I was sitting down on the ground with my little heating pad on my stomach, and those 3 came over, and they just sat with me and kept me entertained while I was waiting for like my time to go up there and stuff. And it was just a great thing to be surrounded by people who actually tried to befriend me and all this. Number 4, Owen, and this is the sole reason. Okay, the "it is fine" line he said was not that great, but the rest of his line delivery, and when Blood Hunter and Nemean are talking about their past, it just really brought me and him together. Granted, he felt a little weird hugging me, but it like I told him again, it's acting. We're brother and sister. Just think of it that way. But he was just so good as Nemean. He was this big brute, this freaking crazy Adonis, and then he was so chill. When it was the just those 2, he was just so chill, talking about their backstory.
What about Venom?
Venom, oh, he's so good as Venom. Only we can kill Venom.
Shut the fuck up.
I still stand by that line. That line was so good. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, I filmed most of the final act of Spider-Man, and that was when I met Ben for the first time. That wasn't when I met Owen for the first time, I don't think.
No, he was also at the Wolverine filming.
Yeah, I met Owen at the Wolverine filming. He was so kind and everything. I also met Brady at the Wolverine filming. No. I met him before. No, I met him before that. I met him at your brother's graduation party.
Right.
But Owen was just this cool guy that I found so cool. He was so good as Venom. Granted, his voice for Venom was really good without the dubbing of Jack Mack. Like if we could,
I forgot to say, Jack Mack does a damn good Venom voice.
because Jack Mack does do a good Venom voice. I really like his Venom voice, but like without it,
If we didn't
Owen-
have that,
Owen's voice was really good.
Yeah.
And the way, sorry, but the way he picked Ben up and took off running with him.
Yeah, I feel like Owen could do both, like, the scary Venom and, like, the goofy Venom while not being, like, too one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like, this...
He did
So,
really good.
You got the Venom who throws fucking Spider-Man over his shoulder and then starts running away. He's like, come on, Spider-Man, we're leaving. And then 5 scenes before that, he's slamming my head off the fucking ground. And it's completely believable that he would do both of those things.
Yeah.
Because Owen just... He's the perfect middle ground between funny Venom and terrifying Venom.
Number 3, I'm gonna have to give the spot to Brady. And you'll know why I gave this spot to Brady whenever I get to my next 2. It's just, I really like, Brady is really good as a character we filmed for today. He was a very good, he played that character perfectly.
Completely random character.
He was literally sitting in there watching scenes again of this character, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, jeez. He is so into the YTMCU, and it makes my heart happy. He's a great Havoc. I can't wait for you guys to see that. He's so good.
Don't even get me started on that man as Magneto.
Oh,
He's going to
Me and
be
him-
the most ruthless villain, probably.
me
I
and
think he'll be a
him
top
have
5.
had one scene so far, and it was great. It was perfect. It was just so good. He's an amazing actor, and I can't wait to see where we go with Magneto farther.
There's so many good roles he has coming up that I'm excited for. We're going to get to see him as Iron Fist again.
I can't wait.
Yay!
Um,
Iron Fist, Magneto, Havoc, other character who I can't mention yet. He's just going to be so many cool characters, and I just know he's going to be amazing at all of them.
Number 2 is Wyatt. Wyatt is just, there's something raw about the way he acts. Like you can tell it's acting, but like whenever we're in the scene, like recording, you can tell it's acting, but on the screen you're just like,
Wow.
because he immediately switches off once we're done filming like a bit in the scene. He just immediately turns it off, and it kind of puts you off, but once you see it live, full-length movie, it is really good. And I truly
Say, man,
think
Wolverine,
he's one of the best.
Wolverine and Spider-Man are 2 of my most rewatched films because I just love to watch him as those characters. Like, I love to watch him and I's scenes as Green Goblin and him as Wolverine. Like, he's just so good.
And
And he's been a great Wolverine in X-Force, too. Like, it makes me...
oh,
'Cause, like, I knew
he's so good.
I knew he was good as Wolverine in Brotherhood, and I was like, I'm going to put him in X-Force. And he has only cemented how cool of a character Wolverine is. And I know by the end of the YTMCU, he'll have cemented Wolverine as, like, a top 5 best character. Because I've got some stuff with Wolverine coming up, and I just know he's going to be so good.
Me and Alex both wrote X-Force, and whenever we first were gonna make a movie of Psylocke, I was like, what's a comic book I should read of hers? And he went, just read X-Force, and then you'll get like basically her
Uncanny
whole freaking
X-Force
character.
was a really good introduction.
And
to
I
her.
was like, okay. I read it, and I was like, why don't we do X-Force? And
we
he was
did.
like, oh, okay. So we put it in there, and it worked perfectly. And that's why I was literally begging Alex, ask Brady for Deadpool. Ask Brady for Deadpool. I was begging him to ask Brady for Deadpool. And he was like, he's gonna say no. He's gonna say no. And we just kept begging him until he finally had to say yes.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna do it without his permission. No, I'm being fully honest.
It works.
But because when we were writing it, I was like, no, Angel's not the piece that's missing.
No.
It's
Angel
Deadpool.
is definitely not.
Angel,
At least not in our version of the story.
I just don't really like Angel all that much. Alex knows my beef with Angel.
Yeah.
I don't like Angel. You guys can come at me for that.
Archangel's on top of.
Still don't like him.
I mean, to be fair though, you only have ever read one story with him.
That is true.
You don't really know him that well.
Yeah, I hate him in Uncanny.
You only know him as Archangel, so.
But I will say, you're supposed to hate him in Uncanny X-Force.
Yes,
so
you are supposed to hate him. So
they did a good job.
Anyway, back to your top five.
My very, very top is Ben. And here is why. The way he acts as Deadpool. Tutor was freaking amazing.
He's incredible.
Oh. His death scene with Blood Hunter, I was genuinely crying. Like, that genuinely brought tears to my eyes. And whenever Brady and Owen dragged me off, that just cemented it together. And that scene genuinely brings a tear to my eye every time I watch it. Not because I think I was good at acting, it was the writing, Ben's freaking line delivery, and then the two taking me away. And I want you guys to know that I was actually screaming in that clip in a neighborhood. I was screaming my little, not loud, but it was agony screaming.
Yeah.
But Ben is just so, I really love his acting. And in real life, I can see Deadpool and Peter Parker in him. In real life. Just in real life.
When we're here, just hanging out or whatever.
He just says the most random stuff.
It's like I'm watching, he's gonna hear this and his ego is gonna grow massively. It's like I'm watching a younger Ryan Reynolds.
Literally.
Because he just says some of the most uncanny, off the wall shit I've ever
Stupid
heard in my
fucking
life.
shit.
He's literally
It's funny.
Literally the way he is, that Ryan Reynolds clip of him talking about how his dick pic is like circling around the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
He literally gives that energy all the
I can hear
time.
Ben saying that.
Hi, welcome to Hawk Tour or Talk Tour. Today we're going to be jerking off a horse.
That was Hawk.
That was the one I made. Today we're going to be jerking off a hawk. Yeah, I'll say this. I think my favorite role for Ben is probably Tutor.
He was so good.
And I'm going to explain to you why. It's the most surprising.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Deadpool, yeah, I can see it. But Tutor, that is a completely different character.
It's raw emotion.
Yeah, because Tutor is not Ben.
No.
I see Deadpool and Spider-Man and Ben. I do not see that vampire dad as Ben at all.
Ben was so good. And I'm really sorry about the beard, guys. We were looking for stuff to keep it plastered on.
I knew that Tutor was going to be a great character when Dalton looks at me and goes, I'm handing off the torch now to Ben as the Moon Knight villain. Because Tutor's that character that doesn't have to have a connection to Moon Knight to be the amazing villain he is.
Mm-hmm.
He can just be some random guy that is caught in the crossfire of the vampire human war.
Because, myself, Bushman as a villain is built based on the history between him and Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Sun King is just a villain just because he's a psychopath. Tutor has depth, he has grounding, he has a backstory that doesn't involve Midnight. The character built itself. And Ben portrayed it immaculately. I mean, I honestly, like I told him, before that, I considered myself as Bushman and Jonathan as Crossbones as the two best villains in YTMCU. Ben's up there with us now.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Straight up.
We're going to get to that conversation after this one.
That's it.
Dalton, your top 5 is next, by the way.
He's just so good.
He's great.
Also, very short role, but him as Bullseye is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to play Bullseye in 4 more movies coming up, and I think y'all are going to really enjoy it.
Oh my god. I had so much fun with him that day, playing when I was Hellcat.
That's another thing that's really going to show his range, because Spider-Man, he's a dorky guy, but he's also really fun and jokey. Then Deadpool, he's just a complete freaking weirdo, but he's also really funny. Tutor,
I think I liked her kicking me in the balls.
Yeah. Tutor, he's obviously that really emotionally complex villain with freaking layers upon layers. And then you have Bullseye, who's just a deranged psychopath who really enjoys throwing stuff at people and killing them. And that's another dimension of the character that you can play. You can play all these different types of people.
He's definitely not a one-dimensional actor. God, my top 5. At number 5, and I'm not putting this person at number 5 because I think the rest are better than him. I'm putting him here because the people that I put above him have what am I looking for? Upgraded themselves, for lack of a better term, upgraded themselves.
So what you're saying is that person has kind of stayed stagnant, but still good. But the people
Right,
have gotten better.
because number 5 is Jack Mack.
Yeah.
And he'll understand why. Jack Mack's a good actor. He's stayed a good actor this whole time I've known him. These other guys that I'm going to put as 4-1, they've evolved themselves. Jack Mack, honestly, one of the top actors I've ever worked with in any setting. Jack Mack is just so good at jumping into a project and just rolling with the punches. Basically anything that he is in, he understands quickly and just does what he needs to do. His improvisation is off the wall compared to something like mine. Like, I can't think off the top of my head, like some people can, but he is really good at it. And that's why he's number 5. Number 4, I want to agree with Kendal, Isaiah Blair.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah is so underrated.
That's
Yes,
fucking
that
facts.
is literally
That's
so
facts.
true.
He's played 3 of my favorite characters in YTMCU.
Oh
We
my
have been
gosh.
talking for an hour and 30 minutes, and it hasn't even felt like that.
Crazy.
It's because we're awesome.
Isaiah, he's quiet, reserved. He doesn't really show off. But my God, once you get him on that screen and you tell him, hey, this is what I need you to do, perfectly. It's insane just how talented of an actor he is, and he's good in any sort of scene. He can do a story-driven scene. He can do an action scene. Both him and Isaiah are incredibly Isaac, yeah. Skrillex. Isaiah and Skrillex are, they're very good at the physical aspects of it.
I will say their Takeshi and Shang-Chi fight was a really good one. That
both of them were.
That was so good.
Those two like characters are just fat. Also, I'm gonna break into this real quick. His range is crazy.
Yes.
He plays Shang-Chi, the quiet and reserved hero, Ghost Rider, and Grand Maul.
Yeah.
A hero, an anti-hero, and a villain, all in one.
3 completely different characters that he portrayed amazingly.
So I know the upcoming roles I have him casted for. He's really gonna like.
Yeah.
More anti-heroes, more villains, more heroes. It's all just gonna be super fun.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm gonna put Brady. Brady, like I explained before, when he first started, I was worried he wasn't that great of an actor. He was just kind of there when we needed him to be. He showed up, and he took that role, ran with it, won the marathon, and has continued. Like,
Iron Fist is a top 3 character at this point.
He hasn't stopped. Not just with Iron Fist, but he has expanded his horizons. He is an incredible actor. He's a method actor, really. As Alex was saying before, earlier today, and the last filming I was at, we'd be sitting there filming other stuff. He'd be sitting on the couch just watching TV shows, watching that character in TV shows, trying to get into it. And that's something that I've tried to do before. The bad part is, the characters I played aren't really on TV, and when they are, they're shit.
Yeah, the 2 characters that have both had film adaptations are fucking horrible.
Harold Meacham in the Iron Fist TV show is nothing like mine.
And don't even get me started on Hannibal King in
No.
Blade is not even close to the real Hannibal King.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Ours is see that's the thing. We use a lot of obscure characters, and a lot of them don't have film adaptations that are accurate. They're either inaccurate or they don't have them.
But that was the goal of our other way to begin with.
Right, like
What's
a
the
character like
character
Moon
name?
Knight had 3 movies before the Netflix show, not Netflix show, the Disney Plus show even was announced.
Wait, what?
We made 3 Moon Knight movies before the show.
Oh, I
even
thought
came
you
out.
meant like he had actual
No.
Hollywood movies, and
No.
I was like, no, that's
I
a
think-
lie.
Disney Plus was the first.
And there's still plenty of people who are like, "Man, your Moon Knight is still better,"
Yeah.
or "This character that you do is better than this
Which is
version."
a shame because Oscar Isaac's.
It's not his
just
fault, truly. It's
bad
the
writing.
writing of the show is
Yeah.
just not good.
Wasn't good writing at all. Where was I? Brady. Back to Brady. He has improved so much, and
Mhm.
I love it. You know, I give him shit a lot, but that's because he's like a little brother, and you know, he's kind of a dumbass sometimes, but it's great.
Also, just not to mention how great he is at making a movie.
Yes, he.
Wolverine and Dragon and Tiger are 2 of my favorite films we've ever made.
It was tense at first. Dragon Tiger 3 was tense because Brady had a set thing in his mind, and even if it didn't work, he still wanted to make it that way. And I'm not that kind of person. You know,
Yeah.
I shape shift things a lot, and so that was a bit of tension at first, but eventually we kind of managed to work that out.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible director. He gets flustered sometimes, which we all do, but he is definitely working on it. He's gotten a lot better with.
Yeah, he's so competent now.
He's gotten better with putting his emotions away and just doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I can even kind of see where he came from sometimes. Because when you work on a script for so long and you put all this into it, and the person that you're working with is like, no, I don't really want to do that. You're kind of just like,
Yeah.
why?
Right.
Why? But it takes a lot of character to be like, okay, maybe there's a reason why, and maybe what you want to do can be good.
And that's what happened.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes
we-
it is.
We sat down and a couple of the scenes that I thought needed to be a little bit different. We sat down and we talked about it. And,
Yeah.
he took my advice. And it sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes we blended it together.
Yeah, I agree.
Second place on pure shock factor alone, Wyatt. And it's because I didn't expect Wyatt to be the type of actor he is. When his first day of filming with Midnight Suns, I was like, okay, this is just some random kid that they pulled out of Bridgeport High School, and
Real.
no big deal. He'll be here as an extra, and we'll never see him again. But then I watched Wolverine, and
It's Wolverine, bro. It did it for him.
I was like, "There's no way this is the same kid.
Yeah.
No way."
Yep.
He cut off the mullet, kind of started getting a little,
Gruff.
gruff, and all that stuff. And
Older.
It shocks me, and I love it. The shock factor I absolutely adore.
Sorry, I'm showing them a photo of a
A
character
project
coming
that
up.
Ben is working on right now, which is going to be freaking cool.
He looks so good.
I like that a lot.
Another reason why Ben is goated, because he's literally making a series right now.
He's literally
He's reading the comics.
he's literally reading the comic of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Ben here in a minute. Why?
I'm guessing he's number 1.
Wyatt's just came out of left field and impressed me. And you can ask these guys, and you can ask any of the guys that are with us. It takes a lot to impress me the way that he did, because I'm very critical. If you can do a million things right, and I'm going to tell you the one thing you did wrong, because that's just how I am. I think that helps you, that makes you want to be better, and so Wyatt, I haven't really had to do that with a lot. So
Wyatt just knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. Or he's never
And-
acted before in his entire life.
number one, of course, Ben Gerhardt. He
Yep.
he has come in and stole the show. Another one that during Midnight Suns, I was like, okay, this kid's just gonna be here and whatever extra. And we've gone through 1,000 extras before, and none of them have ever stuck with it. But Ben came back, and he got thrown into the role of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And he
literally
just-
just thrown into it. He was not
He
expecting
just really
it.
wanted to play him.
We
but
literally
he
threw
didn't think
him
he ever
into it.
would.
Yeah. Another honestly, it's the same as Wyatt. It's a shock factor. He surprised me. He
Low-key,
really
when
did.
I first met him, I thought he was an extremely shy kid, because
Oh,
I
no.
hadn't seen that side of him yet.
Yeah.
Like during,
I was a dork.
and then Spider-Man came, and then me filming for Spider-Man came along.
And then his confidence just came out, and
Mhm.
we were like, "Damn, he should have been this character the entire time."
Yeah.
Well, when I found out he was an only child, because I'm an only child, I was like, okay, he's just gonna be a dork. He's gonna be weird and whatever. And then he just came out with shell and Spider-Man. Honestly, I don't think we could. I don't think we could have asked for a better Spider-Man.
Mm-mm.
He plays that role, like I said before. He plays that role so well. Anyways,
Hold on. Okay, we're back.
but that threw me off. Okay, Ben just came in, stole the show. Shocker, a character.
Oh yeah, I didn't even bring up Shocker. He's a great
Oh
Shocker.
shoot, he is
Yeah.
a really good shocker. That movie was so good.
A character that I never cared about before.
You cared about in that movie.
I care about him. Like, I knew who Shocker was because everybody.
He's this guy.
Anna
that fights-
Schultz was right, guys.
He's the guy that fights Spider-Man sometimes, and then you're like, "Damn, he's actually so interesting."
Anna
like-
Schultz was always right.
No, she's like,
Yeah.
Like
I mean, she was, but she was.
I played Shocker one time on Lego Marvel Superheroes, and that was it. And now I'm
I
like,
fought him in the
okay,
PS4 game.
This is kind of cool. And his his stuff with Electro. That movie, I didn't think it was gonna be good, but it's good.
I
Yeah,
can't wait to see the two yellow-clad superheroes meet Hellcat and Shocker. That would be so fun.
And then Deadpool comes around. And
hey, don't skip Tudor, bro.
oh yeah,
Tudor.
yeah, Tudor.
Tudor, he'll talk about last because that was his best role so
Yeah.
far.
Deadpool comes around, and like I said before, it's like watching a mini Ryan Reynolds because
Yes.
Ben is just so off the wall. Quippy, just says whatever's on his mind, anyways. And then once he gets in that suit, it's game over. You're not getting any filter. He'll tell you whatever he wants to tell you.
Damn, but those scenes come out so good.
Oh, he does an incredible job.
He just is
Um,
Deadpool.
Yeah. So much of Deadpool that Deadpool Wolverine movie that we went and watched. We won't talk about that. And then for
We like
Tudor-
this so much, we're making our.
Then for Tudor, I didn't get to interact with it as much as the others because I kind of wasn't really around for a lot of the filming for Midnight 4.
Yeah.
But watching the movie, it goes to show his depth and his range, because you can go from these super silly characters that
Goofy ass Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Goofy as Deadpool, Spider-Man is whatever, Shocker is kind of, it's kind of a goofy movie, but Tudor has this depth to him, the character does, and Ben just went all in, and it's intriguing. It another one impressed me. Like I said, it takes a lot to impress me, but yeah, that's my top 5.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna do mine because there's nothing that I can say that you two didn't already say.
Right.
And mine is basically just the same as yours. Except I'd probably switch Isaiah and Jack Mac. But yeah. I agree with both of you.
I put Jack Man 5 just because I wanted to put Jack Man.
Yeah.
Because he deserves it.
I don't know if I have an order particularly. I might say, I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'll just give it because why not? Isaiah 5, Jack 4. I'm gonna say Ben 3, Brady 2, Wyatt 1.
Okay.
That's my list.
It's respectable. That's it.
That's my ranking. I won't go into too much detail why, but it's like for all the same reasons you guys said.
Yeah.
Except I just basing off like the characters for them. Jack Max are good, but they're kind of the same. He's really only played like 2 characters. Isaiah, he's played 3 characters. I think he was really good as one of them, especially Shang-Chi. Grand Maul, he didn't have enough to do, but he was good. And Ghost Rider, I think he was like half good, half bad.
Yeah.
But there's that.
That was also one of his. That was his first big role, and he got better as it went. The
Right,
first scene
right.
we
That's what I'm
filmed with
saying.
him,
Half of the first half was the second half was
Jack Mack and I had to work with him. The bar,
yeah.
but he really grew into it. By the end of that, he was good.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, I mean, he has a lot of diversity, but I'm not just gonna rank them based on their ability. I'm also gonna rank them based on their, I would say, feats. The only character that I think Ben has actually really showed a lot of nuance with is Tutor.
Yeah.
Deadpool, I mean, he's funny. Like that's basically all he does though. Spider-Man, he's hasn't really been Spider-Man that much. Shocker, I would say Shocker's got a lot too. Shocker and Tutor, like the, dare I say, his best roles. Because I kind of want to look at people based off of them doing something well that they're just not really already. And Ben is already funny. Like he's funny, he's goofy, and so I look at the 2 people that he plays that are like insanely deep. I'm like, wow, plays them well. Brady, I mean, he's played a million different characters. He's played them all well. I've cried with Iron Fist. I've been hyped with Black Knight. I've been like, what the fuck with Sun King. I felt a lot of things with him that I just was like, wow, I'm impressed, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think out of every one of the lists, he has the most built like feats that I've seen, like of just like playing characters. Because Jack has really only played like one guy, so there's that. And of course, I already talked about Isaiah having a couple, but the levels of at which they were good. Ben really only having 2 really good ones, and then 2 that I think are good at like entertainment value and like being a good character, but not super like special at acting. Like when I think of acting, I think of like how much you actually have to put into being a character, and I don't think Ben has to put much into being Spider-Man and Deadpool. He just is them. Tutor and Shocker, yeah, he is not them. He is not them. Brady, I don't think Brady is a single character that he's played.
No.
Besides maybe Havoc. Havoc might be like the closest to his actual personality. Sun King is too fucking insane. Danny is too confident and triumphant. Black Knight, well, he's British. Brady's obviously not.
Who's the guy in Midnight 4?
Oh, Rutherford.
Rutherford would be a close.
I forgot to. There's another character that Brady plays really well. Rutherford Winter.
Yeah.
And Morbius in that same movie.
He would be a close. The closest to who Brady actually is.
Yeah.
I would say.
Wyatt, I mean, he has only played like 3 people, but
Poor Brady destroyed.
he has just played them all so well. Wolverine, amazing. Green Goblin, blew it out of the fucking water. Speed Demon, haven't seen enough of him yet, but he's just fun.
Yeah.
Like Wyatt likes playing him. There's a scene that we did that hasn't come out yet, but damn, him and I had so much fun with that. And I would say Speed Demon's not important, but like I'm not gonna chalk it up to being Wyatt's fault. I'm gonna chalk it up being mine because it didn't make it important. But on the contrary, that's my list. For better or for worse.
Right now, what did we talk about?
I want to do this one specifically to new Dalton things. I want to rank 2 top 5s. I want to rank top 5 heroes and top 5 villains.
Are we including like our
Yeah,
characters?
we'll include our own because it's not the acting, it's the character themselves.
Okay. I guess I'll start.
Dalton's got time to think about this shit.
I gotta think about all the doing heroes first.
We'll do heroes first because I feel like heroes is easier. Villains, there's just a lot. There's a lot.
Just as a character?
You like how good you think they are as a character, how they're interesting they are. Like you watch it and be like, oh, this character's great. I love them. I want to see more of them.
Number 5.
Because like there's a lot of characters that just exist, you know? Like I'm talking about the 5 that you're like, I want to see more. I really enjoyed this.
Number 5 is definitely Hellcat. I loved playing her. She always put me in a good mood. You can ask Alex. I was always in a good mood. There's that freaking blooper of me saying I'm just a girl and laughing over and over and over again, and it wasn't even that funny.
It was a good vibe on that set.
She was just so fun, so charismatic, so brave. She's everything that I wish I could be, but I know I'll never be. It's just she brings the good vibes, and I really love her. 4. Now I want you guys to know.
Hold up. Emotional impact from Hellcat?
Emotional impact was definitely the whole Aaron thing. She knew she needed a new man. She knew he was a bum. Like, literally, he focused more on his work than his wife.
Right.
And I think she was just waiting for the day to finally explode on him. I mean, he didn't even say I love you when he was leaving for work.
Yeah.
And then there's this Hyperion, who just swoops in. He's busy fighting people in the cosmos, and he still comes home to her.
Yeah.
And he loves her. So that's truly the emotional impact. Her going from a horrible relationship with Aaron into Hyperion, and then their emotional factor, meaning Aaron and Patsy, for villain and hero. He's just this psychotic stalker. He is obsessed with her, and he can't get over her.
See, I like the thought of Black Tarantula's character because it's like he wanted to keep a status quo. Because like he never acted that obsessed with her when they were actually together. But when she leaves him, he almost is like dying just to get back that whole I'm married, I have a life.
And he even said, if I can't be with her, I'll kill her.
Right, like he's like either I'll kill her or she'll kill me.
Yeah, he either wants to die or he'll kill her. And that truly shows this psychoticness of the serum.
Yeah.
And what it, like the black serum, what it could do to you. And then Hellcat is this happy-go-lucky girl who thinks she can beat anyone, as we saw with Scorpion, and she got her ass kicked. But like she was this happy girl who felt on top of the world, on cloud 9, and when she took the serum, it didn't change her personality like
it just made
Aaron's did. It made her stronger and helped her deal with everything in a way. And I really liked the fact that we added Bakaneko. Granted, it's like, I know a few of you were probably like, oh, she has 9 lives, but we even talked about this in the Blood Hunter and Hellcat death battle. Yeah, death battle.
Go watch Matchup Monday. That episode was fun.
She only has 9 lives, and if she doesn't do an act of heroism, she's dead. She cannot get those lives back if she dies. She won't come back. She's not Mark. She only has 9 lives, and she's done for. And even now, Bakaneko only gave her 1 life back. She's at 8. She's not at 9. And I truly like that Bakaneko's like this person. If you're not worthy of my power, you'll just die.
Yeah.
And
I like Hellcat a lot. She's really fun.
She's so fun.
She's got a lot of dimension. She's a good vibe. She is, dare I say, one of the most realistic characters. Like, she's
a detective.
She's a person. She has man troubles and has a girlfriend that she hangs out with and an awkward guy friend.
And can we also talk about how she loved Sammy and cried about it? It truly shows how much she loved him.
Yeah, because she's not like a stoic hero who's like, oh, someone in my life died. I must move on.
I must avenge them and make sure this person knows that.
She's willing to feel emotions. She even complains to her super powerful, ultra mega boyfriend about how she thinks she's weak. And he's
compared to him.
Right. Like she is like us. She's the most human Her and
Mhm.
Spider-Man and Iron Fist, I think, are like the most human characters.
Leading into my next character, I'm gonna go with Iron Fist for number 4.
Okay.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of Iron Fist. I've only watched Dragon and Tiger 3,
Which
But-
is his best.
but I would say that is probably his best. His arc with Harold dying and then going and finding freaking Bullseye and just beating the shit out of him. Like, that just truly shows how much he cared for Harold. And I first named him how much he cared for Meechum.
Harold. I also really like.
Harry.
I like the fact that Danny still, despite the losses he's gone through, clings to that morality because he still doesn't kill Bullseye.
He could have killed Bullseye, but he just let him live. And that truly shows his character. And the emotional aspect of watching Brady walk in and seeing, well, not Brady, Iron Fist walking in and seeing Meechum dead. That one really hurt me.
That Meechum death scene goes hard, man.
I was tearing up during that scene, and it just really hit me hard in the feels. And it definitely felt like it needed to happen. Because I don't think they could have went anywhere else.
I wish you could have seen the first couple appearances of those two, and then you would have really been like, wow.
Because I know that Meechum was like a deadbeat uncle, like caregiver, sorry, who was drunk all the time and didn't really care. But then, like, as I watched Dragon and Tiger 3, I was like, there's nothing of that character here.
Even Meechum has his own character development, which is hilarious.
But yeah, Fist number 4, solid 4.
Also, not to mention, he's just badass.
He is extremely badass.
He-
Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan Iron Fist. Also, I just like his power
Nice
set.
job,
It's cool.
Brady.
I like his powers.
Very original. Okay, number 3. This is where it starts getting hard. See, I like Wolverine, but I feel like it could have been something more
Yeah.
character-wise. But we're gonna see more in X-Force, so maybe this will change for me, but
There will definitely be more Wolverine.
I'm really
Don't worry.
excited. But 3. This is hard. I'm definitely gonna say I don't think well, you guys haven't seen him yet, but Hyperion. He's a solid 3. I don't know if we're counting him or not.
I probably won't for now.
Damn. Because oh, that character. This is actually hard.
Yeah, because if we're not counting the ones that we haven't seen yet, it's hard.
We'll just do Spider-Man at number 3, because there's 2 other characters that I think beat out Spider-Man.
Okay.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of Spider-Man. I've only seen Spider-Man since Rising and the Hero House episode, which the Hero House episode is nothing. There's nothing about Spider-Man, but Spider-Man was really good in that movie. Granted, I hated the jump from unathletic Spider-Man to athletic Spider-Man a lot, but we had to do what we had to do to finish Spider-Man Sin's Rising for Alex. Because Dakota Ramsey was not coming back after he blew us off a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So we decided to just finish it with Ben, and that was the best decision we've ever made. It truly brought Spider-Man to life. Like, to be honest, I thought the scenes with Peter Parker were kind of boring with Dakota. Like, I could have just fallen asleep. Like, I was literally sitting here. Actually, I did fall asleep. I did fall asleep during that movie.
Damn.
And then I woke up during the final fight, which was actually the best part of the whole entire movie, in my opinion.
Sit here.
I woke up, I think, at the Kilgrave scene. That's
Oh,
when I
man,
woke
that scene is a banger.
Oh.
That's when I woke up.
Woke up to Cole Allen's best scene ever.
Yeah. And I'm really happy I did. But I did rewatch Spider-Man. But I was still bored out of my mind with his Peter Parker.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is Peter's scenes suck. and then you nosedive into Green Goblin and Sin Eater, who are like freaking awesome, entertaining villains.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow.
Like, truthfully, I was sitting there pondering. I was like, how is he gonna stop Sin Eater and Green Goblin together? Like,
And then he had Venom.
they didn't work together. But then he got Venom, and then Green Goblin killed Stanley. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I truly did not expect
You thought it
Stanley
was
to
going to
die.
be Sin Eater killing Green Goblin, and then him being the big foe.
Hasakak is calling you. Hold on.
No, you keep talking. I'm going to step over.
But, yeah, Spider-Man, solid 3. I really like him. He was so fun and cool to watch. He was funky, as he should be. Number 2. This is where it starts getting hard, because I know who I want my number 1 spot to be, but number 2 is hard.
Who have you listed so far?
Hellcat, Iron Fist, and Spider-Man. I know number 1.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Obviously, it's gonna be
It's
him.
good.
But they probably already know who
Yeah.
it is. But number 2 is kind of hard for me.
We just had so many good characters that it's hard to.
I truly
It's hard
wish
to put a number on.
I would probably put Quicksilver there if we had him right now, but we don't.
The version of Quicksilver we're about to see is much better.
Yeah, and Quicksilver Time Crimes.
Yeah.
We're very proud of that movie.
Yes. I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a tough one. What you gonna do?
Jane would also be in my top 5 villains too.
Who?
Jane, the little
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
She would definitely be in my top 5. But who am I gonna do? I'm gonna say it. I think I'm gonna say it. Doctor Strange.
Okay. Why?
I watched Midnight Suns.
I'm intrigued by your choice.
I watched Midnight Suns. First ever impression of the YTMCU, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Watched Midnight Suns. Jumped right into it without knowing anything of the past. And that opening scene with Doctor Strange reading from the Bible, showing that he still has connection to God, even if he deals in like magic and stuff, because, you know, magic and God don't go together. But it truly shows his faith, and I really like that in him. And then he's a prick, which is not very godly of him, and I'm like, wow.
The religious part of it, I think that Jack Mack added that in.
But it really
it works.
It works for Doctor Strange, because he's a historical type of guy and everything. Like, even if he doesn't believe, he still reads from the Bible.
Once again, Jack Mack knows his characters.
And a big part of it was him reading from the Bible and then cutting to him lying to everyone that Sentry wasn't available, and he didn't even call Sentry to come help. And everyone was just like, oh, okay. But I think Mark knew that he was freaking lying, because Sentry has nothing better to do.
It's good as Mark.
But Doctor Strange is just the perfect between the good and bad in heroes. Now, actually, no. That's Sentry, but he truly shows the bad of what heroes could be. But he's also a really good person. Because, I mean, he helps out Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Mark. I mean, frick, he brings Marlene from a different universe back.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, she divorces him, but he cared enough to bring her from an alternate universe for Mark.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then my number 1 spot goes to Mark Spector. He's just so calculating, and Alex acts perfectly. I'm gonna toot his horn.
You can tell who Alex's favorite character is.
Alex's favorite character is Moon Knight, if you could not tell.
If you can't tell, you haven't been watching it.
You have not been around long. I mean, he made a 3-hour movie about him.
what do you say, 180 pages of script?
180
Moon Knight
pages
4?
of script just for Moon Knight 4.
It's not including the other 3,
Yeah.
which are,
He
I think Midnight 3 was over 100 pages. Midnight 3 over 100 pages. Midnight 3 over 100 pages of script. Yeah. So
sorry, Moon Knight's my number 1.
probably about
That's
My second was Doctor Strange.
probably about
Doctor Strange. Okay.
between 4 movies, probably about
Over Iron Fist and Spider-Man.
Here's the reason. In the beginning of Midnight Suns, him reading from the Bible really spoke to me, and then he was a total prick throughout the entire movie. And it truly shows like not everyone is as godly as they claim to be.
See, I think Doctor Strange is such an interesting character
I do too.
because like Midnight Suns really shows his like variety. He's like, yeah, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm the savior of the universe. This and that. Like I'm a supreme power wizard and shit.
But when he's alone,
But then he's also like, you know, I gotta do research into the Bible to fight Satan, and I must collect the team of the most powerful people that I can get.
and like I also said, even if he doesn't believe in it, he's still read from it to like understand.
And his character is so freaking relatable because everything he does is a lie to himself.
That is true.
He's like, I need to find powerful people to fight the demon army, and it's just a bunch of random fucking people. Like it's a
He
guy.
could've, like I told him, he lied about Sentry not being available when he could have just called him and been like, hey, we're
Yeah.
having this problem. Can you come deal with it? And Sentry would have been like, on my way.
Yeah, like he got a guy with a sword that can cut through everything, a vampire who's honestly not even that strong, a guy who can punch things really well and is mentally insane, and I mean a pretty powerful guy. But then he hucked his powers by controlling him,
Yeah.
and a tree guy.
a tree.
He's like, this is my team of ultimate warriors to face off against.
And he could
Satan.
have called one man.
And even Ghost Rider was like, dude, this is bullshit. But yeah, I like Doctor Strange but at the same time, like he has good intentions. Like at the end of the day,
That's
he
what I
did
meant.
defeat Mephisto. Like he did defeat Mephisto.
It's a good intention.
And he cares about the people that he got on the team. Like we see in upcoming films after this that he like actually still talks to some of them. Like after it all happened, like he talks to those characters.
Except for someone named Mark Spector.
So he doesn't communicate. Mark doesn't answer his phone calls because
Mark does not like Strange because he knew that he could have called Sentry and dealt with the whole thing.
Conchu was in his ear like he's
But
Anyway.
the reason why Mark is my number 1 spot, I was tooting your horn. You couldn't hear it, but I was tooting your horn.
Thank you.
Alex literally does so good, and in Moon Knight 4 with like the three of them just split on the same screen. He's each character. He's Jake. He's Steven. He's Mark. And then as Conchu, granted you couldn't tell what Conchu was saying, but as Conchu he was really good. But then there was that scene out on the porch. Played all 3 like that. It wasn't like, film all of Jake's stuff, film all of Steven's stuff, film all of Mark's stuff. We filmed that in order.
Yeah.
It was literally Mark, Steven, Jake, Mark, Steven, Jake. Like, it was...
So what we're saying is Alex has schizophrenia.
I have multiple personality disorder, guys.
And Risotto's little ass was bugging us the entire time, but Alex is literally one of, like, the best actor we have. We've seen it with Sin Eater, we've seen it with Mark, we've seen it... Well, we're gonna see it with a few other characters coming up. He plays completely different characters than those 2 edgy, freaking crazy psychopaths.
Hyperion, Quicksilver,
Edgelords.
Venom X.
He's literally doing so good, and I am genuinely so proud of him. And
Thank you.
I even told him, I said, you're one-dimensional. Because I hadn't seen him as anything else. I saw him as Sin Eater, crazy psychopath with another personality. I saw him as Mark Spector, crazy person with multiple personalities with a freaking god in his head. I genuinely thought he was one-dimensional until I saw him as Quicksilver, Venom X, Scarlet Spider. Oh shit.
It's fine. Well, actually, technically,
Actually, you already did
I
say it.
announced that
You
one.
did
so
announce it, technically.
We're good.
So-
We're good. We're clear.
So he's literally the best, and I stand by that. But the reason Mark is my number one, it is mainly because of the complexity of his character and how he's not afraid of anything because he knows he'll just defeat it because that's the way he is. If he can't find a certain way, he'll try ways upon ways upon ways. And with Tudor, Mark died. And I was like, that's crazy.
Someone finally killed him.
Someone finally killed him in front of my eyes. And then he goes in his head, kills Khonshu.
If I can't use Khonshu's powers to beat him, I will use his powers to beat him.
Yeah.
By killing him and taking them for myself.
And it was truly crazy. That scene truly brought it in for me that Alex is the best actor in the YTMCU.
Would you like to understand what that allegory, that entire scene meant? So Moon Knight killing Khonshu wasn't just, I'm overthrowing this god who has been controlling me so that I can take his powers and defeat the villain. It's I am annihilating my self-doubt, my self-hatred, my self-destruction so that I can defeat the task in front of me regardless of how, dangerous it may be.
I think after the villains, we'll have to take.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Alright, Dalton, are you ready?
Ready to be.
For your top 5 heroes?
Yeah. So, number 5. Oh God, this is really difficult because we have so many good ones.
There's a lot of good heroes, without a doubt.
It's just so many good characters. I'm gonna put Doctor Strange number 5.
Okay. I may have put Hellcat too low, but
Doctor Strange.
I think it's fair actually for who she's up against.
Yeah.
For Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Fist, and Moon Knight, she's definitely below all of them.
yeah.
Doctor Strange. You know how he is from the get-go. He doesn't build up any whatsoever. It's still a great character, but you know what you're getting with him.
Mhm.
Sarcastic, intelligent,
Yeah.
liar, but also very powerful.
As
Also very smart.
As Kendal stated before, the whole everything in Midnight Suns, Jack Knight portrayed it amazingly, but Midnight Suns was that was his movie. We made that movie for Jack Knight.
Yeah, the other characters may have been on the team, but it was Doctor Strange that pulled
Yeah.
the strings.
It was Doctor Strange's movie. The final fight scene between him and Mephisto, just out of the water. It's a really cool character.
I'll be back, guys. I have to use the bathroom.
All right.
Number 4. I'm gonna say Spider-Man for number 4. I say that because, as great as Ben is as Spider-Man, I've seen Spider-Man since, was it Secret Adventures was the first one he was in?
Technically,
Dragon
yes.
Tales,
Technically, he was Robot Spider-Man in Secret Avengers, if you
Oh.
if you want to consider that. But if not, then it's Dragon Tiger 2.
Okay. So from Dragon Tiger 2 all the way up through, you see obviously 2 different versions of Spider-Man. But the character itself, the writing that we had for Spider-Man was really good all the way through. Wasn't portrayed as well as we wanted. Just because the Dakota just didn't have it in him, no dissing him there or anything. It's just it just didn't work. Can tell I'm getting tired, so I'm going off my head. But yeah, Spider-Man got better and better and better, but it was good from the start. And of course, Spider-Man's just such a beloved character for everybody, and it's really important that he works well because a lot of Marvel Comics is based around him. It's Stan Lee's favorite character ever.
The most popular superhero ever created.
And we always wanted to have Spider-Man in YTMCU. We just never knew how to add him in. But
That was our first time really tackling a character that like people like everyone knew.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Spider-Man.
Right. I mean,
we went from Moon Knight, Iron Fist, and Shang-Chi to freaking Spider-Man. So.
Yeah.
And now everyone knows Shang-Chi as well, so.
Right.
Yeah,
Shang-Chi
we got a movie.
and Midnight.
I mean, it's got a movie. Iron Fist, unfortunately, still is not there, but he deserves to be there.
Unfortunately.
Because Iron Fist is awesome.
I knew Fist from Spider-Man Pinterfell. The
Dude,
video game.
Real.
And that's it. I've never watched the Netflix show. So
I haven't either.
It's not worth it.
not worth
It's not good.
from what I hear. At number 3.
I have a question for a closer.
Okay. Also, his list so far was Doctor Strange and then Spider-Man.
Okay. That's what I thought. I thought we only got to 4.
I don't even know who to put as number 3.
Yeah, it's truly hard.
Yeah, I feel like there's a good like 10 characters that you can just kind of like be like, oh, this is the
I would definitely say Shang-Chi is under Hellcat for me.
big stack. Yeah. Shang-Chi definitely deserves to be in the top 10 though.
Yes.
Oh yeah, in top 10.
Nah. Not right now.
Isaiah Blair did really good as
If Isaiah
Shang-Chi,
Blair
though.
had played Shang-Chi since day one, he would be in top 3.
Definitely.
He would have got his own movie. Because his performance is in Dragon Tiger 3. Honorable mention to Shang-Chi.
Yes.
That man is freaking awesome. I loved him in Dragon Tiger 3.
I will also give an honorable mention to Takeshi whenever.
We do villains.
Which I think he might actually be in
He
top
could be
5.
in top 5. I mean, he's not just the strongest, but he's definitely one of the most interesting.
All right, this is gonna sound weird. Number 3, Winter Soldier.
Bucky. Oh yeah, honorable mention to him
Bucky.
too. We'll throw him one.
I totally forgot.
You know,
Well, I never watched past. the
Cole
nice ones.
did.
Maybe before.
Well, yeah.
Cole did as good of a job as he could, and he put his heart and soul into it. And that character, we built our original like phase 1 is built around Winter Soldier, and the whole street, street crime, everything there. Winter Soldier and Crossbones. First couple movies. Secret Avengers is built around Winter Soldier and Crossbones. And the character, Alex did an amazing job writing the stuff. Cole did a pretty damn good job as Bucky. There were a lot of things he could improve on, but hindsight's 2020.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna put Winter Soldier at 3. Number 2,
I find it very interesting that you put him above Spider-Man.
just because of the original Spider-Man we had, it kind of put the damper on it.
That
It
is
was Ben the
also
whole
true.
time.
But Doctor Strange too, man. That's crazy. But though I also do see
As
it
a
because
hero?
Doctor Strange is very.
Doctor Strange isn't a really good hero.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's
I
still...
meant more like ranking the heroes based off that they are as characters, not really as heroes per se.
Oh, well,
Because
I
as a
mean-
hero, Moon Knight shouldn't be number 1. He murders people. He literally cut off a dude's dick. I mean,
I also agree that Bucky is a good character.
oh well, yeah.
Iron Fist, number 2. Same reasons as Kendall. And Midnight, number 1, same reasons as Kendall.
Yeah.
There's no point in reiterating.
Yeah.
Beat a dead horse at that point.
I think my list is going to go. Crazy to say this, Doctor Strange is not in my top 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Daredevil.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about Daredevil.
Say Daredevil top 5.
You were a really hot Daredevil.
So-
But I feel like Isaiah is also a really good Daredevil.
Yeah.
As we saw in Hellcat, he looks off to the side as Daredevil would, like kind of not looking straight at Hellcat like he
Because
can
he's
see her,
fucking blind.
but like he's looking down, and like that truly made me happy because usually in the show I've noticed he looks straight at the person that's talking.
In the Netflix show?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Well, some of the clips I've seen, he's looking straight at the person, and I'm like,
Dude, there's so many scenes where he even has his glasses off and he's just looking at the floor. Like, Charlie Cox is a great Daredevil. Anyway, I mean, in my opinion, Daredevil is one of the best Marvel characters ever made. In our universe, I would say he's not as great, but if you watch the first Daredevil movie, which I don't think either of you have,
Mm-mm.
you actually do get to see who he actually is. Like he's a lawyer by day. He's anointed. He believes that he's anointed by God to deal out vengeance to the evil people. But he won't kill. It's against his morals to kill a person because if he does, then what makes him better than them?
That is true.
He has friends. He loves Foggy. He wants to protect the law and uphold the law. He's a fighter. And I love that in his own movie he's flawed. But then in a movie like Dragon Attacker 3, you see him as like this mysterious, fighter mentor character almost. Who people like Spider-Man and Iron Fist are like, whoa, this guy's freaking cool. But then during his fight scenes, he's the guy who's spin kicking Razor Fist into a wall and then knocking his ass out. And then in the next scene, he carries his body onto the altar in front of a church and prays that God protects the man and keeps him from doing more bad things. I think it's very interesting because it goes to show that Daredevil, despite his level of violence and his level of physical combat, that he is still one of the morally best characters. Like he fights not only just for justice but for righteousness. In spot number 4, I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Wolverine. So Wolverine, while he may not be as developed, well, he may not have as many appearances as people like Daredevil and Spider-Man and Iron Fist and all that. I do think that for the story that we've seen of him, he does have a lot of a character arc. In the very beginning, he's like very standoffish. He doesn't really care. He's just kind of living life. And this little girl's like, "Hey, will you protect me? Will you keep me safe if I get hurt?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like in the beginning, he doesn't care. But then when the girl Lucy Braddock dies, we see a complete tonal change of character.
Yeah.
Wolverine is he's kept up at night by what he's done wrong. He's kept up at night by the fact that he couldn't save the people that he did. Lucy Braddock, Jean Grey. We even hear in his head like he thinks about Jean every time he sees a light, like a fire. He thinks of Jean Grey. I mean, we know that he has connections to the X-Men because he talks to Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
And Gambit's like, "Hey man, you should come back to us." So we do know that at one point Wolverine was this awesome hero that we know and we love and we know from the movies and from the comics.
Also, I will say Psylocke is a prequel to Wolverine Brotherhood.
Yes, just take that into account. So the Wolverine in that movie is an earlier version. But Wolverine's entire character arc through that movie is, am I really the monster that I believe I am? Because in the beginning, he thinks he's no more than just a killer. I've got claws and I heal and I just can't seem to die no matter how much I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, do I even serve a real purpose? By the end of the movie, he's defeated the bad guys. He got vengeance for the girl. The girl may not be alive now, but he did.
He got vengeance for her brother and her and herself.
Right. He absolutely fucking destroyed those people.
Mm-hmm.
And
well deserved.
He goes to the bar at the end and he's like, "Man, I may have done what was right, but am I a monster?" And Gambit's like, "You never were." He's like, "Animals don't know what they are. Humans do."
We need to make a Gambit movie.
Real. But that kind of makes that last scene where Wolverine's like looking up at the sky and he's like, "I'm not a monster." I think for a movie that length, that is such a great character story.
That is.
None of y'all talked about it, but I just want to say, like, he's a great hero. He fights so well, and yes, he is brutal, but at the same time, he does what he does for the greater good. He messes up. He makes human mistakes. Like, he's selfish, and he didn't have the guts to take care of somebody, and when that person dies, he puts it on himself. He blames himself, and he literally goes as far as he can to find the people that hurt that innocent, and he fucking kills them.
Yeah.
In the most brutal way. And even after that, he still is like, was it even enough? But he's doing his best to be a better person. And I just think that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I've always loved Wolverine, and I think Wyatt is a great Wolverine. And the character of Wolverine, that's the character who I was like, man, I would love to see more of this character.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion on Wolverine. What were you gonna say?
Number
You were
3.
gonna say something.
I don't remember.
Okay. Number 3. I'm gonna go with. So Daredevil, Wolverine. This is gonna sound crazy, man. I'm gonna go with Hellcat for my number 3. And you may be saying, what? What the fuck?
What?
So I personally, as I've said already, I like Hellcat a lot because she's a very human character. When I was writing Hellcat, I was thinking to myself, I need something new. Because we have characters who are miserable human beings who do what they do out of revenge and vengeance and self-hatred. And then you have people that do what they do because, they're heroic and they have this, they're tied to God or morals or whatever. But I think Hellcat was so interesting because at the end of the day,
She's just a girl who wanted to be a hero.
she was just the average person. Like, there was literally nothing special about her. She just was a person. She had a really prick-ass husband. She had some friends who...
Sorry, Brady.
Yeah. She had a prick-ass husband. She had friends that she hung out with and got coffee with. She worked at a law firm.
She was obsessed with superheroes.
She was obsessed with She was a freaking dork. Like, she wasn't special. A lot like Spider-Man.
She literally reads a Hyperion comic.
But instead of where it's like Spider-Man, where she's tied to this idea of responsibility and morality, she does what she does because it's objectively right. And what I like a lot about her is when you have other villains that tie to their heroes, Moon Knight is against Bushman because he fucking hates him. He wants him dead. He wants revenge. Spider-Man is against Osborn because he wants to help him. He wants the guy to see the light and become a better person. Danny is against the villains that he fights, usually because they do something to him or someone that he cares about, which I mean is a pretty good thing to do what it is for. But Hellcat, at the end of the day, she does what she does because she has seen the example that those other heroes I have listed before have went off of, and she's like, this is the right thing to do. Hellcat is human because while she does have this grandiose idea of I'm going to be a superhero and I'm going to do right, she fails. She does not beat every villain that she fights. Scorpion beats her. Crossfire could have probably beat her if he wanted to. Black Tarantula beats her, but she comes back stronger and beats
Black
him.
Tarantula kills her.
Yeah, Craven kills her, but she comes back stronger and does what she has to do. And her whole character is tied to this idea of I may be nothing, but am I worthy to be something? Bakaneko is that idea. And can these feats of heroism that I do actually amount to anything? And her coming back and getting her extra lives is that question being answered.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? And Hellcat, she's not the strongest hero. She's not the toughest. But she is a very determined character.
Granted, she can take a bullet point blank.
She is tough, undeniably tough. But I love how human she is. She just, at the end of the day, she walks home and she's like, man, how did I do? I think I did, how did I do? She thinks about that. She thinks about things like that. Like, other heroes are like, did I do the right thing? Did I save the right people? Did I do this and that? Hellcat, she thinks about is what I done good enough? Like, am I really that good of a person? That kind of thing. Number 2, it's Iron Fist.
Same reasons as
Great character arc. I mean, he went from a shit-ass, snobby little douchebag kid to a superhero who does what he does to protect the people that he loves and to avenge those that he's lost and to show that he is good enough for the power that he has. And undoubtedly, he does. And he faces off against freaking crazy enemies. Davos, the Hood, Takeshi, Zhang Zhu. Some of the most crazy villains that we've ever seen. And he beats them all, not because I'm super powerful and I deserve to beat them, but because in his mind, he's like, beating them is what has to be done to save the innocent lives and to protect those I care about. And at the end of the day, it's a very simple concept, but it's a very noble one. And like, Danny does one thing that we don't see a lot of heroes do. He works and trains and puts his ass in the dirt to get the power that he has. He doesn't just get it. Hellcat, she just kind of got her powers, and she was like, oh shit, cool. Spider-Man just got him. He figured him out.
Well, granted, she got him and then started training.
Right. Moon Knight, I mean, he died for them. That's different. But Danny, he trained with
Kung Fu. He didn't die for them.
He died.
He died and then got them.
But Iron Fist, he sat down with Kung Fu masters, with Orson Randall. He trained. He learned all these new powers. And his maturity as a human being is what made him stronger. And when when he lost his uncle Harold Meacham, he looked at the man who killed his uncle, had him by the collar, was covered in his blood, and instead of going, "I'm going to kill you because I'm enraged, I'm filled with hatred, and in this moment I have to take you out," he said, "I'm no better than you if I take your life right now."
And then he paralyzed him.
And then he's like, "I'm gonna make sure that you remember this, but I'm not gonna kill you." So he breaks Bullseye's spine and is like, "Boom, I'm out." And I think that's so awesome. Like, Iron Fist is just such a cool character. In the beginning, he was like, "Yeah, man, I don't need rules. Who the hell needs rules?" He was a lot like freaking Sonic the Hedgehog. He's like, "I don't need rules, man. I'm awesome. I'm badass. I can punch people really hard." And oh, he was a douche. But then by the end of it, he's like, I know now what this power is made for.
Number 1.
You know who it is.
Midnight. Okay.
I'm not going to finish. All right, villains.
All right. I'm gonna start off with number 5.
This will be our last thing we talk about, and then we're gonna cut this off.
I'll say Green Goblin at number 5.
Green Goblin at number 5.
Actually, no. Blood Hunter. But
Okay.
the reason why she's so low is because she wasn't the main villain. She's just a minor villain in Mark's story. Granted, she becomes very important in his life, but she's just a minor villain that he beats up.
So, question: since we ranked the heroes based on heroism, do we rank the villains based on villainy?
We didn't really rank them on heroism.
You did.
I did, but I didn't at the same time.
That's confusing. Okay. Say if I'm ranking them based on villainy.
We ranked
I don't know.
them on characters, which includes the heroism and not.
Okay.
But Blood Hunter, she has probably killed hundreds of people in her lifetime. I mean, she looks 18, but she was turned when she was turned when she was 18, but she's 58. So she's had 50 years, 40 years to perfect her craft and know how to kill someone like that.
Yeah, I found that out when we did the match on Monday, and I got absolutely fucking shit stomped by anecdotal evidence.
Because she has great. I think she knew she couldn't beat Mark. That's why she told Nemean, "You can't run through buildings trying to find him. We have to come up with a plan to try and take him down." And I knew in the back of her mind she was like, it might not even work.
I also think, well, I know, a part of the reason why she says those things to them to like kind of put them down and make them think they can't do it either.
It's because she's
Insecure, and she's like, if I can make them feel like they can't do it, maybe it'll make me feel more like I can. Which is such a very interesting human thing to do to other people, which is terrible. But like, people do it.
and like she has a brutal backstory. She was obviously raped by her father when she was young, killed him at 16, left, didn't join the cult yet, but she was
Freelance assassin.
she was training at 16 to become an assassin, became an assassin at 18, and I think around her 20s she turned into a vampire and joined Tudor in the fray.
Yep.
And if you don't know, Grandma, Bloodhunter, and Nemean all met at the same time and was turned by the exact same person, and that's what made them brothers and sister. And their dynamic is truly of that. Nemean's the older brute. He's like, oh, I'm big and bad, and Nemean and Grandma are definitely older than her.
Yeah, she's the oldest.
Grandma, he's the calm and collected. He knows how to calm her down and calm her and Nemean down whenever they're fighting. And she's a brave little bitch, cause she stepped up to Nemean knowing that he would probably wreck her shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I really like about her. He's not afraid, and she went up against Moon Knight, who she knew would wreck her shit. And at the end, just the reveal of Mark being Mark, and then her going, holy shit. And then her going against Tudor with her brothers. That whole arc was so good.
Yeah, you definitely got to see a lot of her.
But as a villain,
character.
she was also really good. I really liked her. She was cunning. She was sexy, dare I say. She's just amazing. But she definitely deserves number 5 compared to everyone else.
Okay, I like that. I like that reasoning a lot.
Number 4 is Green Goblin.
Okay.
And all of the other villains are way greater than what Green Goblin is. Because, well, on my list, they're way greater than what Green Goblin is. Green Goblin was so well written. Props to Alex. He was Green Goblin. Like, Wyatt was William Dafoe. He literally sounded like Green Goblin, and I was like, holy shit. What you think Green Goblin would sound like is what Wyatt was.
It was kind of terrifying, to be honest.
Yeah, he sounded exactly like William Dafoe. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Wyatt was a fantastic Green Goblin.
He didn't break character once he was, like, in it during the scene. He was so serious as Green Goblin. Like, usually he's a goofy dude, but he was so serious as Green Goblin. And it was really heartwarming to see, and, like, the bloopers behind the scenes of him just being goofy and then going straight into his mode, and I'm like, holy crap. It's truly, truly fun to see. You
didn't even talk about the actual character, though.
Okay. Green Goblin himself, like Norman Osborn, he's a complicated guy. And personally, I don't think I could have written Green Goblin. Because he's just so complicated. Like, his switches, like, the way he just puts the mask on and he's Green Goblin, and he takes it off and he's Norman. Like, you're just like, whoa. It's truly awesome to see Green Goblin portrayed in the right way. Like in the movies.
I really like how there's a specific scene, you know, the one. He's got Spider-Man on the ground and he's like ranting to him.
And then he turned, like...
You can tell that isn't Green Goblin because he stutters and he's almost trying to convince himself that he
is right.
He is a bad person, knowing that he may not be as bad as he thinks he is, but the Goblin is what makes him evil.
The bad person, yeah.
Yeah,
like, he's aware of the Goblin.
I like how multidimensional Green Goblin is. Like, not only he's got multiple personalities, he's got the Norman one, the Green Goblin one, but also what we know of him from other characters. Like, Venom is like, dude, this guy's terrorized Peter's entire life, and Peter has nightmares about Green Goblin. It is literally like, it's to the point where he questions if he should even let him live.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see it, but you know that the Green Goblin was doing some shit.
Yeah. And, that leads me on to my next person. It is Sin Eater. Sin Eater is a solid 3. And you guys will see why. Actually, no. I'm gonna go with Bushman, number 3.
Oh. Okay. I feel like I know what the other two are. I'm 100% sure.
Bushman. Love Bushman. He's freaking scary as shit. I genuinely saw someone that was close to me in Bushman, and I was like, holy shit, that's like crazy. But,
pretty crazy watching your cousin perform that role, huh?
Yeah, I was like, that's not Dalton. That's not Dalton at all. And, I think that's a main reason that the pedophile jokes started happening.
Thank you, Kendal. Thank you so much.
It was definitely because of that bastard. But
never heard the things that went into that, but we're not gonna get into that.
But the way his beef with Mark just showed how much of a shitty person he was. Because he raped his wife, ate his wife, raped his daughter, ate his daughter. Like, he was just...
That is some diabolical shit.
That is just... All because he hated Mark. Literally because he hated Mark.
No, the whole reason that it even happened is because Mark was like, bro, why are you killing random civilians? And Bushman was like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you.
What?
Yeah,
You want me to kill random civilians? Let me kill your wife.
And your child.
Bushman literally shot the dude, left him for dead, went to America, was like, I'm gonna kill your fucking family now. And was like, oh, well, I've eradicated his entire bloodline. And then Moon Knight came back and Bushman was like, oh, well, fuck. I gotta kill you now.
Like literally, that beef runs for centuries, from what I can tell.
Bushman was brought back to life, and the first thing that man thought to himself was, "How the fuck can I kill Moon Knight? Because I know that motherfucker's still alive."
Yeah, Bushman, top tier, top
I
3.
agree. He's even after all these years, he is still a top villain.
Next is Sin Eater.
I know who number 1 is. I just know.
And Sin Eater was a really complex villain to write and to play.
Way more complex than we could ever imagine.
Like Moon Knight is the most complex hero.
I would say
character.
Sin Eater is like just the villain version of him.
Yeah, literally the villain version. Sin Eater wants to kill because I think he sees the sin in himself. And he wants to make the world a better place, but he does that by sinning. And it just truly shows the hypocrisy of him. He's so hypocritical. And he's like, I'm gonna kill Green Goblin because he's murdered so many people. Well, guess what? So haven't you?
All right.
You
Guess
literally
what? You're a
killed
piece of shit.
your best friend.
In the first movie alone, he has a kill count of 10 people.
And all Green Goblin does is fuck with Peter Parker. That's it.
He hates one guy.
He hates one guy. Meanwhile, he's over here eradicating freaking Earth.
Random guys just walking around selling crack. Boom, your head's gone.
Like, and he literally murders people for fun. Well, not for fun, but because they sin. But
The crazy part is he thinks he's right.
yeah,
Like he's so deluded that he actually believes that what he's doing is like God's will. Which it's not. It's not.
but yeah. Number 1. I'm trying to hurry this up because it's 11 and my mom probably wants me home soon.
Yeah, real.
Number 1 is Tutor. And Tutor will always have that special place in my heart. Like I said, the death scene between Tutor and Bloodhunter was really, really sad. And it broke my heart to watch. Wait, it wasn't even them dragging her away from Tutor's body. It was them dragging her away from Mark's body. That's what I meant. Whenever I talked about them dragging her away, I meant Mark's body. But the 3 siblings just crowding around their father. Well, father, quotes around that, but he was their dad. They crowded around him and let him go in his final moments. That was really awesome. And then him and Michael, that whole thing, him wanting to save Michael, like everything he's doing is to save his son. And that's
a noble cause.
He's definitely the best villain who has the best noble cause of wanting to save his son. And I just truly...
He's like one of the only villains that you can be like, man, I kind of feel bad for this guy.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
And it just breaks your heart even more. But knowing that Nemean and Grandma have Michael makes my heart happier.
Yeah. And the final scene where he's a ghost and he's trying to talk to Michael and Mark's just like, nah, man, you can't. And Tutor's like, will you take care of him? And Mark's like, yeah. It goes to show that like even after everything that happened, his main concern was still his son and the people that he cared about. Tutor was honestly, I wouldn't even call the guy a villain. He was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
He just wanted help.
Most villains are.
Unless you're Mr. X. And you're just a rapist.
Yeah, no, he's not up there. Well, he's a villain.
If we want to rank him based on villainy, he's up there.
He's up there. Bushman is probably the most villainous.
Him and Bushman are like the worst in terms of what they've done.
All right, you ready?
Dalton, your top 5 is next. I'm interested to see yours because
Top 5.
how many more villains that you've actually seen in full?
Yeah.
Hers are the very more modern ones, but I still gotta respect it.
God.
So you had Moon Knight villain, Moon Knight villain, Moon Knight villain, and 2 Spider-Man villains. I'm interested to see what yours are.
Here's Green Goblin.
Bloodhunter, Green Goblin, Bushman, Sin Eater, Tutor. That was our top 5.
Okay. Number 5, Green Goblin. Same reasons Kendal gave. Number 4. I'll say Sin Eater. For a lot of the same reasons that Kendal gave. I'm not putting him higher purely based on, like you said, there's a certain villain that I know from our earlier stuff that I know is higher up.
I know the
there
top
than-
3. I already know what it is.
Higher up than
I know it.
number 3 is Bushman. Jonathan Lemon's gonna hear this and he's gonna text me and be like, "Huh, you finally gave up, huh?"
I know who number 2 is then.
Number 3 is Bushman. I can't give myself all the props. Great villain, but kind of just the way Kendal
Bro did that thing out of spite.
what Kendal described his character as, that's really the basis of the whole thing.
I wanted to say this. I think it goes to show how evil a motherfucker is when you're terrified of him and all he has is a machete.
Yeah.
He's literally just a guy up against a dude with supernatural powers.
Right.
But you're afraid of him, even though you know the hero is probably going to trounce his shit.
Because he's creepy.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason.
He's creepy. His
Yeah.
backstory, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who is this man?
And as Kendal had said before, personally, I like villains that are more misunderstood than just evil.
Right.
So number 2 is Crossbones.
Oh, I know about Crossbones.
Because
I don't know why I didn't put him up there. I wasn't thinking.
You never saw him.
it's
That
just
is true.
you weren't there. You had to be there. Jonathan and I, we friendly banter back and forth between two, best friends as to who was the better villain for the longest time. And I mentioned this earlier. We go back and forth. Honestly, when you sit down and actually look at it, Crossbones is a better villain because he's got more of a reason to be the villain that he is.
Tell her why, 'cause she doesn't really know much about him.
His daughter, his
Yeah.
wife. He does everything he does for his daughter and wife so that they actually have a good life and everything.
They're dead.
I know they're dead.
Okay.
He just kind of gave up on. It was just like, just keep on fucking doing it because I know nothing else.
Yeah.
I have no other reason to live besides what I do,
Poor dude.
and it's
Villain version of Moon Knight.
the ending of it.
Kind of.
Villain version of Wolverine.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Well-
Jonathan's speech at the end of Secret Avengers. You get what you fucking deserve. It's a perfect way to end that character.
It's okay. I get what I fucking deserve.
Of course, number 1, Tudor. I said this earlier. I gave the reins to Ben on being a better villain because he knocked it out of the park. That character is so well written,
So well acted.
so well acted.
And he's
has
powerful
just
too.
an incredible story. Powerful.
Killed Moon Knight.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that before.
Pulled off probably the craziest feat. And a new villain.
Fucking hentai Tudor goes crazy.
Yes, that's what we're gonna call Super Tutor. Is hentai tutor
Hentai
now?
Tudor goes crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Like I said, I wasn't around for a lot of filming for Midnight 4.
When Tudor started fucking sprouting tentacles, you were like,
Like, oh shit, okay, that's something.
this man has
Um,
become an abomination.
Yeah. And it's just, it resonated with me a lot.
Don't you worry, guys.
That,
my baby.
You see me, you little bitch?
Jesus.
The Magra will be back soon.
Yeah,
In the Morbius movie. No, I'm kidding.
Morbin time.
I'd love to make a Morbius movie and make it like actually good though.
Brady would never.
I would.
But yeah, that's mine. Green Goblin, Deneater, Bushman, Crossbones too. And I'll give up to Jonathan Lemon. He was a better villain. Maybe not a better actor, but a better villain.
It's fucking
Jonathan's gonna text you and be like,
in his last
"What the
moments,
fuck?"
he said, "Actually, I'm still better than you." No. All right, here we go. Y'all are gonna be very surprised by what I'm about to say. Number 5, I'm gonna say
If you put our boy down there.
Huh?
If you put our boy down there.
Two?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I was gonna shoot you.
At number 5, I'm gonna say Mephisto. Okay, so
Okay.
my reasoning.
I can see.
While the actor is not that interesting of a fella, I gotta say Mephisto is evil incarnate, and that is for damn sure.
He's not a smart
Mephisto is, I mean, he's everything you'd expect out of the devil. He cheats at fucking poker. He enjoys taking the souls of people just out of random. He catches you when you're cheating and says, "Oh, well, that's cheating. That's bad," even though he literally just did it.
My thing is, how did he not know that Doctor Strange was lying to him the entire time?
What do you mean?
Too
'Cause
caught up in his own ego.
Because Doctor Strange had like the perfect game, and then he was lying, saying, "Oh my God, my hands are bad," and then Mephisto believed him.
It's because Doctor Strange did one thing that Mephisto would never expect him to do.
Admit it.
Doctor Strange said, "You know what? I'm betting my own soul." Because Doctor
Okay.
Strange is such a fucking narcissist that Mephisto was like, "Now hold on. Now hold on."
And like I said, Mephisto, by the end of it, was so caught up in his own ego. Like, oh my God, I want to be Doctor Strange.
I'm gonna get a
That's
soul.
one thing I love about Mephisto is his defeat. He is literally so like entranced in his own victory that he completely puts aside the fact that he's playing poker against one of the smartest people in the fucking world. And Doctor Strange completely catches him off guard by being like, "Yeah, I'm betting my own soul and the soul of everyone that I know and love."
Mm-hmm.
And Mephisto's like, "Damn, well, he's got to be really fucking confident if he's willing to risk himself, the only person that he really cares about." So and also, I mean, he's terrifying. He's loud. He's obnoxious. That's a demon for you.
Yeah.
At number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Davos.
Okay.
So,
See, I thought about it, but I don't see him as much of a villain.
well, at the end of the day, you have to take into account he's as much of a villain as Bloodhunter is. I mean, if you're gonna include her, you gotta include it. His whole thing is it's honestly a very petty motivation, but it still makes sense. So imagine, right?
Okay.
You got a childhood best friend. You two are, working towards the same goal. You both want to do it together.
This is officially the longest podcast.
Oh, without a doubt.
Easily.
So you got a childhood friend. You two are working towards the same goal. You're best friends. You work together. You train together. And you're both towards that goal. And you're doing the last steps to get it. And just when you become 100% confident that you're gonna get it, and they'd be supportive of you, they steal it right from out from underneath you, and they just disappear, and you just never see them again. And now you're spent your whole life going, "What the fuck did I do that was good enough?" And so when you finally get that opportunity to fucking meet that person, you confront them. You're like, "How come it was you that got this and not me, who worked way harder than you for it?" It's a petty thing, but he ends up succeeding, because after all these years, Danny turned from a disciplined child to a prick, while Davos turned from a disciplined child to a monster of a human, who now is like, "I want this, and I'm going to get this."
Right.
Where Danny's like, "I got it, good enough." And so Davos catches him off guard, beats the living fuck out of him, takes his powers. He's like, "I finally got what I worked for, and I've got all the power that I want. I'm happy. I'm perfect. I'm good enough. I look from here." He's like, "I finally got everything." And then in those final moments where he has the opportunity to kill the person he's jealous of, he's like, "You know what?" He looks back on everything that he's done, and while he's holding this guy at the point of death, and he's like, "Was everything I did even really worth it all? Or was it just nothing?" He's sitting there, he's got the power of the Iron Fist Steel Serpent, and he's like, "Am I still the man that I was? Or am I just a shell?" And I really like that in the final moments before that, he's like, "Maybe I don't deserve it anyway. Maybe I never did." And he gives it up. He gives it up to help that person, because he knows there had to have been a reason why that person got it and he didn't. Maybe fate put him there. Maybe fate put him here too, to teach him a lesson. And then he ended up giving away his power to help that person, because he's like, jealousy was never the reason for anything. At number 3, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Raoul. You've already given Bushman his real name.
Raoul Bushman.
Every reason you've already listed.
The only Raoul I don't like.
At number 2, I'm gonna have to go with Tudor. I mean, he's got motivation, he's got power,
Just know, guys, I'm side-eyeing Alex hardcore right now.
It's fair. Tudor is amazing. He's a powerful villain. He's got motivation. His death was hard on the people that he cared about, and his final moments where he was like, just thinking about his son. That's very wholesome. What a dad. Anyway, number 1 is Sin Eater.
No.
Not to tickle my own balls here.
No.
Just want to say, I'm one of those people who, you can kill me or tell me to fucking die or whatever. I don't think that a villain has to be sympathetic to be good. And at the end of the day, I do think Sin Eater is a sympathetic villain because he is a man who has this unstoppable force of destruction trapped in his own body. He doesn't want to live, but he doesn't have a choice. And we know in that scene where he becomes a Sin Eater again, he's literally begging that if the force takes over him and he becomes the Sin Eater again, that he just doesn't hurt anyone.
Shit.
He's just like, if this does happen to me, if I get totally consumed, I just ask that you don't hurt anyone.
Yeah,
that's all he thinks about is don't hurt anyone because he's already hurt enough. And it's such a sad story watching a guy who was a happy guy. He was a cop. He loved saving people and protecting them, and he had friends. He had a life. It all just gets torn down by the weight of this unescapable demon that is within his own soul. And he, for the longest time, he could never escape it. He isolated himself from the world. He hid from everyone, and he just was like, this has to be good enough. If I have to be alone, it has to be good enough. And it wasn't. Nothing worked. And so the Sin Eater took over, and this undying force of delusion that says, I'm right, what I'm doing is right. The people that I kill deserve to die, and I don't. It's insane. It's insanity. But it is the real life truth that there are people that exist that are deluded, and they're like that. It's a real thing.
If Moonstone was around, she would have been up there.
Real.
All right, now for my closing.
Oh, I won't more say this.
Okay.
But I think one of the reasons why Sin Eater is so good is because he's one of those villains who, much like Tudor, when he finally dies, you think to yourself, man, he just deserved better. Like, Stanley Carter deserved better. He didn't deserve to be stabbed through the spine and die a slow, painful death in front of one of the only people that he knew.
Womp womp. Anyway.
Okay.
That was a joke, guys, I promise. You ready?
I think I'm good, yeah.
Alright. Top 3 characters you would love to play or play again.
You want to go first?
No.
Dalton? Like, top 3 characters in Marvel Comics I'd love to play?
Yeah.
Like, just like in general? Okay.
Or would love to play
You will
again.
find my picks very surprising.
You want to go first?
What? You will.
Just have one.
You only have one?
Have one.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. That's interesting.
Interesting, huh?
We love Wonder Man.
My top 3 characters I'd love to play. First of all, Namor. I would love to be the douchebag king of Atlantis.
If only.
Secondly, Ultron. I would fucking love to be Ultron. He's one of my favorite villains. I just love... Anyone that knows me knows I got a thing for evil robots like Metal Sonic, Terminator, Ultron.
Oh, I gotta add Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody wants to play Iron Man.
Dude, for the longest time, people that were fans of the channel was like, you should cast the Meacham guy as Iron Man.
Alright.
My third is Apocalypse. I would love to be...
Okay.
Jonathan would be a great Apocalypse.
I agree with that as well.
Forehead itself.
I think...
Jonathan, that's not what I meant. Jonathan, that is not what I meant.
There's a few other characters that I'd like to play that I know I never will. Budget. I'd love to be Nova. He's cool.
Namor is out of budget.
Exactly.
I mean,
But these three
We're
are
cool.
these three are even.
We-
So
I mean,
dead ass. Honestly, I think the only one that I could probably pull off out of those three is probably Ultron. Crazy enough, I think he's the most likely.
Apocalypse.
I have to be like 7 foot tall, and blue all over.
Your brother.
He's the same height as I am.
he's not 7 foot tall.
I'll like shrink myself and just like get down on my knees and be like, oh whoa, hold on.
There's also plenty of other characters that people have played in the
Not gonna do
YTMCU.
that.
Let's not and say we didn't.
Another character that I played before that I would love to play is the Hood. I'd love to be that guy again.
I mean, I love playing Meacham.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
um,
I'd love to see Meacham again in a prequel. I'd love to see the Hood again in a prequel.
I'd love to see Meacham in like 50 years from now. I'm joking.
I'd see Meacham's rotting corpse. But anyway, that's my picks. Kendall, are there any that you would like to play?
All right. So, I want my break as a psychotic woman. I want to be Typhoid Mary
I want to
right
play.
now.
I want to play myself.
I want to be Typhoid Mary right now. Right now.
You know, what if I made a movie that had Typhoid Mary and the Hood and Harold Beecham and it was set in the past? Wouldn't that be awesome? Anyway, I already announced that's a
But Typhoid Mary, I love her.
And then Forge out.
And Fort's good. All right.
Okay. She's so cool. I really like her and all of her personalities. Like freaking regular Mary, just a regular old girl. Typhoid anti-hero, and then Bloody Mary, full-blown villain. Like that is genuinely so cool.
That would be the villain version of Moon Knight
Yeah.
if we flip it.
I'd love to play Cyclops. Because, yeah, I grew up. God,
You know, I feel like
X-Men.
he'd make a good X-Men Beast.
I thought that's it. I'd love to play
He's
Beast.
good.
That would
If
be
we
so
were
good.
to X-Men, I'd love to cast you as Beast.
Yeah.
I have a perfect. Hold on. All right. Casting. If I ever did X-Men, this is who plays who. You, Beast. Wyatt, Wolverine.
Obviously.
Isaiah Blair, Gambit. Shayla, Rogue. You, Psylocke. Jack Mack, Professor X. Brady Hasluke. Colossus. Me, nobody. Ben, Cyclops.
Okay.
So if I was an X-Men, out of all of them, I would probably want to be fucking
Jamie.
Multiple Man.
Yeah.
I would love to be Multiple Man. That'd be fucking awesome. I love
I
him.
can see it.
Anyway, sorry.
Number 2 that I would love to play and see happen. Granted, okay, this is just a character I would love to see happen. Black Widow. I would just love to see her. Because
I feel like she'd fit in our verse because
Yeah.
she's
canonically,
like, so
she's
powerful.
not dead. From what Alex has said.
Oh, I didn't know I said that in canon.
I don't remember.
You did. You told me. You said canonically she wasn't
I
dead.
told you.
Oh shit. Hey, you're gonna have to edit that part out.
Damn it! I went this entire time without having to edit anything.
It's literally just the end of it. So Black Widow would love to see, but I don't want to play her.
Maybe they'd make a good one. I mean, if it's you or the alternative, I'd pick you. I mean, you know.
But Black Widow. Not for me, for anyone. But I would love to be Typhoid. Gonna go with another telepathy chick.
Jean Grey.
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Big titty, busty
Okay.
girl.
All right. And on that note,
That's
Um,
actually not why. I genuinely find her powers very interesting.
You know who else I'd love to see? You asked specifically. There's like 4 characters.
Hmm.
Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel, the original Miss Marvel, the original Carol Danvers, the one with like a lightning bolt symbol, blonde hair. She'd be cool. White Tiger. She's very similar to Hellcat,
Ooh,
but
White
like
Tiger.
cooler.
ooh, you'd be a good white tiger.
Cause you're Hispanic.
That'd
You know how
Oh,
like
I
Hellcat has like the claws? White Tiger can literally summon the power of different animals, and she can create a like actual like spirit tiger that fights for her like a stand. Yeah, badass.
Okay.
Oh my god, I could see the Amazing Spider-Man, the cartoon,
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I know. We already got Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Spider-Man. Let's just throw White Tiger in there and no, but
Oh,
Oh, Nova.
Fuck Nova. That version of Nova, I hate. I hate the,
Oh, I
the
hate
young
it.
Nova. The older Nova from the original is fucking cool. I hate young Nova. He's a little prick.
And now the last one.
I would personally love to see Kendal as fucking what's her face? Shit. Silver Sable.
Okay.
Russian assassin with white hair and a silver costume.
I want to be Mockingbird. Alex will not let me be
Mockingbird's
Mockingbird.
fucking lame.
Alex will not.
Do you mean
Either.
You
Okay.
mean wait no shut up. You mean Songbird?
Yes, Songbird.
Okay, Mockingbird's fucking lame.
Songbird.
Songbird's cool.
Yeah. Songbird
You're wrong.
or me and Keith Barr as Cloak and Dagger.
That would be a banger too. Keith Barr is fucking
I
a
hide.
giant hood man.
I hide in his chest.
What?
Remember, she comes to his chest.
I know that. Who are you? Okay, guys. Anyway, it's 11:44 p.m. We've been recording for 3 hours. Thank you all so much
You're
for
welcome.
watching. On the next episode, I don't know who I'll interview. It'll be like 3 months from now. I'll interview.
Crazy that it was just Alex was like, "Hey, when you want to do that podcast?" And I was like, "Hey, you want to do the podcast?" As soon as he asked me, it's crazy.
I'll
3
either,
hours later.
I'll either interview Kendall or Wyatt or Ben or Brady.
Watch out for more blood on her.
Watch out for cars when you're walking in the road.
Jump for the projectile.
Watch out for the projectile. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Love you. Praise Jesus Christ.
I don't know when this is coming out. Good night.